gonna be talking about a lot of different things, and, like, as usual, we never know exactly what might get brought up, so, you know, I know that that might be difficult for some people, uh, trying to give a trigger warning for, like, anything possible. So, just for entertainment purposes only, uh, I have a lot of herbs and, like, plants on my mind. I wanna start some seeds this weekend. I should have started a few weeks ago, honestly, but I am spinning my wheels still on the e-files. Like, I'm sure that's going to get brought up. There's this one thing that I heard of recently, this scandal. I title this video for those of you that might not know the reference I'm making in the title. Six Ad World was this show on Daria, a cartoon that was on MTV, and it was a show that they would often play in the background, and it would have, like, these sensationalist stories. It was like tabloidy, TMZ, well, even sillier than that. So the point is, I almost feel like we're living in an episode of that. It's just thing after thing after thing. And this is unrelated to the e-files. Hi, Train Addict, how are you doing tonight? Um, Freda Baby, this is a brand that I never used. I think that they've been on the scene, like we have a 10-year-old, listen to me, almost 9-year-old, 10-year-old. He's turning 9 soon, and I said 10. And then our other kids are teenagers. So we never personally use this brand. It seems newer, but it's very big. It's well known. And behind the screen is the name of the YouTube channel. She did 2 videos on this marketing for this brand, Frida Baby, right? For some reason, I feel like I'm saying it. I wrote that down, like, that has to be it. Frida Baby, they are saying, like, some of the most egregious this isn't by somebody's standards, this isn't okay. These are baby products, and they're using overtly sexual marketing techniques for baby products. And a lot of people's first thought might be, "Oh my gosh, like, who is running this?" A whole team of people are behind this. And it is a woman-owned, woman-led company, this thing called Frida Baby. It's a baby products, a company. And, there's some things that, like, now it's, like, embarrassing. Now I'm getting ready to tell you guys about it. Like, I'm embarrassed to say it on YouTube Live. Like, maybe you should just watch behind the screen. But, like, okay, there's, like, a massager for one, and it says, Getting to second base never felt so good." It's for breastfeeding moms, and they're talking about second base for this product for breastfeeding moms. And the owner of the company herself said that she is wants to be a proponent of desexualizing nursing and breastfeeding because that's what, like, I've tried to touch upon and I don't do well at all. And I know I'm like just a frustrated commentator. I'm not trying to be an expert in anything, but it's like in America, in the US, we have this like weird culture where we're like half Puritan and then like half overtly sexual. And like if you can't take the joke, like you're the prude and that's wrong, it's like so strange. It even shows up in our dating culture where women are supposed to be virgins. Like the Madonna whore complex here is real. Oh my God, that's what it is. We're like a Madonna whore complex nation. And like it's like, okay, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have both the fun in bed, freaky. I mean, you can be fun in bed no matter what your demeanor. You know what I mean? The quick to get into bed, like fun party girl, plus the girl that never jumps into bed quickly. If she doesn't do it with you by the first, second, third, whatever date, then you're gonna be upset about that. But, like, you want her to not do that for everybody she meets at the same time. It just doesn't make any sense, okay? And, okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys one more thing. Hi, Millie, how are you doing? Hi, Bat, how are you? Oh, and Stefan, how are you doing? Let's smoke a cigarette. I vape, and I should stop, really, I should. I'm talking about Frida Baby, this brand that the YouTube channel behind the screen did 2 videos on. I'm gonna tell you guys the most overt one. Oh, Ty, I hope you sleep well or, take care of yourself. This Instagram or I don't know, it was social media. This wasn't on one of their products, but it was a picture of a baby with snot on its face. I can't even say this. And the caption was, "When your pull-out game is weak." Mhm. For some kind of product that, like, helps you aspirate the mucus out of their noses when they have a cold. This group I it's a company full of women. think that this is okay, that made me gasp. I listen to so much, especially with the e-file stuff lately. I listen to so much crazy shit online, and I was like, I couldn't believe, and I wasn't just listening to it. I had to see it for myself. I trust this girl, but like I need to see this for myself. And I'm sorry, like this is what I feel like we're just this stuff is just they're gonna keep doing this unless we like really seriously put our feet down. We need to. You guys want to see my dog? We need to. Oh no. Oh, my light was on him. Hey, honey. This is my boy dog, and that's my girl dog. And you're my boy dog. Sorry, I'm shining a light in your pretty eyes. Okay, okay, sit to pet you. He sniffs like a hound dog, you guys. I haven't had a dog. I had a hound dog, and I swear he didn't. He sniffed less than this dog. I just took them out, and they both went potty, and soon they'll probably leave the room. I don't know. Vape with me. I do vape sometimes, but not that much because I don't think you can do it on screen. Do you, Leonard? I don't know if that was a serious question, Leonard. Hey, has-beens. I think that like what the real question is like why is that even a thing that is so popular? And I know that doesn't mean every single person likes that, but it's creeping into our media, even on baby products. It's like they wanna just shove it in our faces. They don't care, there's no shame, yeah, he has really floppy ears. He's half Great Dane, half Neapolitan Mastiff. Hi, Ariel and Anaya, how pretty names. 2 really pretty names right in a row. So, this, once again, behind the screens YouTube channel, I mean, she did a really good synopsis on all of this. And thinking about everything that we found out lately, it's hard not to be like, okay, like, is everybody a pervert? Like, I know not everybody is, because I know I'm not. I know my husband's a good man. Not all men are flawed in this way that they want to like take advantage of vulnerable, innocent beings. But when you realize how many are, and oh, 'cause I just got my hand in a slobber that he left on my pants. Hi, Kayo. How are you? I'm sorry, I just saw you. I didn't see you when I said hi to Ariel and Anaya. Chip, hello. Oh, hey, thanks, Chip. I'm good. We've had a good day. And I made a really yummy supper. I made meatloaf and roasted potatoes and green beans. And I don't know, it was just like exceptionally good. I wasn't expecting the meatloaf. It was a very simple recipe, but you know how that goes. Usually those are the ones. Oh, and I didn't tell you, honey, but we didn't have milk to put in it because my husband's like out buying milk right now. But I put a little bit of butter, not a lot because I didn't want it to get, like it was definitely not like a third a cup of butter like they were calling for the milk, but I'm like, was that a good trick? Like really, what I should have done probably was melt the butter, put more butter in the toasted bread that I used in it in lieu of breadcrumbs. Did I say how are you, Chip? Hi, Mustang, how are you? Play more Fortnite. I don't like, yeah, Carrie, I know, milk is for baby cows. I do understand people that think that way, but personally, I'm a dairy fiend. I couldn't not have milk. And I didn't express I need to make an edited video on the raw milk situation, not that anybody cares so much about my commentary, but if I had our own private milk cow, I probably would consume raw milk if I was the one controlling it and literally, like, milking the cow and disinfecting the udders, but beyond that, like and I do understand why people if you choose to trust your source, why people like it, and I thought it was kinda funny because I said, like, "It tastes really good, it's really great," and then I said, "Yeah, it can taste gross," because it is both ways. It is really good in, like, consistency, though, and it's hard to go back to even, like, whole milk. That's why I like A2 milk because it's from Jersey cows, and they're creamier, their milk is better, but because Holstein just make more, and that's the same can be said about so much of our food. It isn't about what tastes the best, what is the most nutritious variety of like anything you can think of, like bananas, apples. It's like what is most prolific and can make them the most money because the harvest is as big as it is. And then I have grown a bunch of different stuff though that I thought was really neat and would taste way better because it was so colorful or something. But Some stuff really is so bland. Like colorful carrots, that's one thing. I prefer plain old orange carrots, like the yellow and like purple, red carrots. They taste less like a carrot. And for some reason, I had it in my mind it was going to be like the most carrotsy carrot ever. Hi, Ray. How are you doing? You did. I'm doing well, Chip said. Oh, good. I think you're fake. Well, Sayori, you can think whatever you want. And I don't know if you mean like disingenuine or AI, but I am neither. Kevin is in North Carolina. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Hi, vlog. Hi, Ray. Oh, no, Ray, I don't do that. I've been married for 16 years. And like, I know some people would say, like, well, you talk to people on the internet and like, anyways, I started to bring this up earlier in a live earlier. It's just a lot to process, and I know that I'm not alone in this. And that's why I was like, even when you think you're escaping it, you're not because there's so many things that remind you, just like the Freda baby thing. It's like, so everywhere you turn, it's another reminder of, oh my gosh. And I did feel bad. I was in a mood, if you couldn't tell. I felt bad about what I said about Amish people because I don't want anybody to think that I come upon an Amish person and I automatically judge them and treat them a certain way. I treat everybody the same upon meeting them, you know? And especially when it comes to children, like children, it's not the child's fault what environment they're growing up in or how they're told to talk and interact with adults. And they're like, I didn't say this, I usually like, I think Mennonites are like what a lot of people associate, like the way that they act at their farm stands, at their businesses, just all together, period. Um, I think they're really great examples of Christians, and I just go I know I talk like both ends against the middle, and it's been my experience in my life. The worst experiences have been extreme religious people, extremists from any religion, right? I have yet to come across like an extreme Hindu. I don't know what that kind of person would be. Oh, actually, no, I'm not gonna let you out because you're probably gonna run outside. I'm sorry, guys. Um, Okay, 16 years. Oh Lord. Why are you saying, oh no, did I just give you a 360 inadvertently? Vlog, well, sure, we can be friends. Thank you, Kevin. I treat criminals way differently, Zwaz said. You'll be okay. My grandma abuses me. Oh, Ruben, well, I hope you can get out of that situation soon. Honey, I don't want you. No, 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 no. If he, sometimes he like pins me down. It's a mastiff thing, but he's ridiculous. So I have to make sure he doesn't put his paws on my lap. Extreme Hindus would create a caste system. Oh, Marcos, touche, Marcos or Marcose. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't think that a lot of them are the kind of Hindus that that was really probably ignorant for me to say, but we lived in an apartment complex that was on a university campus. You need to settle down. I, if I let him out, he'll just if he runs outside, they'll get him back. Go be out there, both of you. My husband's getting ready to walk in any minute with groceries, so I was like, "I can't wait to go live." Are you going to still do this when we're married? Maru. Oh, thank you, vlog. Fendi, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm talking about how I've been married for 16 years. Wave, Hindu created Kama Sutra. Yeah, Ray. There's good and bad things about all religions, right? And especially the like seven major ones that most people in the world, or the most common ones, I think that they're interwoven with the same threads, the same principles, basically. The if people could see how they were alike and not different, and not if we could stop fighting about it. Title is pretty emo. Primo, do you know what it's referencing? Do you know about the show Daria? I don't know how old you are, but if you're a youngin, you might not know what it was referencing. Yes, I know about it, Ray. Kevin, what are you saying Christian about? Are you Christian? Or are you saying it's the same thing with Christians, the extreme and you know what? Uh I think there is a good reason why Christianity is so popular. I'm not like digging on Christianity, but it's just been something that the last few months I've really realized how many people that like call themselves Christians that aren't. So just because somebody calls themselves anything, I don't judge. Oh, Thanks, Ray. I'm working on religions and history, Ruben said. Ooh, world religions was my one of my favorite classes in college. And I got taught world religions by this man who was a Seventh-day Adventist preacher. Isn't that cool? And he was so cool, obviously into all religions. Like, and the older I got and the more I realized how serious Seventh-day Adventist is, and he did tell us about it. Like, I remember him saying that they only got Christmas decorations out on Christmas, like that one day. And things like that, that was like, oh, that I just never heard much about it. But now that I know more, I'm like, that was really cool that he was so open-minded. And I'm doing good, Matthew. How are you? Ty, not everybody has a twang. You'd be surprised. Hey, Mickey, how are you? Thank you, vlog. It's funny. It's like there's people that grow up like on the Kentucky-Tennessee border that don't have a twang. Seriously, most people that far south do. But like there's people that grew up in this town that have a twang, and people that don't. It's such a funny word, isn't it? Twang. I like saying that. Shaquille, how are you? Oh, happy Valentine's Day, Shaquille said. Thank you. In about 4 hours, it will be officially Valentine's Day. You were the first one to say that to me. That's nice. Um, I'm doing good, Mickey. How are you? Thank you, Sunglass. You can call yourself anything. Doesn't mean you're that thing or type of person unless there's a physical defining trait of Christianity, right? Season troll. I think a lot of people. Well, oh my God, 3 hours. It's 9 o'clock here. I can't do math. I saw the eight. It'll be midnight and then it'll be February 14th. That's what I meant by that. But it's 3 hours. Hi, Engine. How are you doing? I like to be kind, vlog. I really it is just in my nature. White girl magic, like which parent does it say plays the greater role in passing on IQ genes to offspring? I don't know white girl magic. I don't have they defined that? I know that like so much of our genetic material comes from our mom, our mitochondrial DNA, but I don't think they've defined or oh my gosh, could you imagine if they ever did? Then it would be like women are like or men are always responsible for, when a kid um I don't know what we're doing, Ray. My husband has to work and I need to Instacart. Um, I need to Instacart it, at least one order a day, but it's the kind of thing the stores are so far away. By the time I get out there once, I like to try to stay out there longer. But be my Valentine, Bradley. But like which parent does it say has the strongest influence over IQ in the frontal cortex? Which ethnicity typically scores lowest on IQ testing? Technically, whose fault? White girl magic. Okay, now that you're named that and you're talking about that, I don't think that everybody tests well, so I don't look at IQ tests as a really definitive measure, honestly. And I'm an autism mom myself, so I know like oh my gosh. I was watching this news story on DUIs and it was so frustrating. There was this man who was autistic and he couldn't follow the field sobriety test instructions and he got arrested and everything's fine. It worked out, but I just felt so bad for him. And he said he was running on 3 hours sleep, poor thing, had a 14-hour shift and he was driving home. So, so this is what white girl magic, if you're still in here, this is what I'd like to ask somebody like you. And I know that you're like probably, I hope you don't like really genuinely like sit around and feel these things all day, like about races. Which ethnicity is most responsible for destroying our planet, the sea, soil, air, the ozone layer? Which ethnicity is the reason why people like Elon Musk fantasize about colonizing Mars? um, which ethnicity has destroyed the most civilizations that we know of and made life worse for the most other ethnicities? If you really define things by the measures that matter and actually affect all of us in our everyday lives, white people are the worst. I'm sorry. Keith, when others bring evil intentions as you just automatically and naturally adapt, improvise, and overcome to naturally detect, deflect, and disrupt any harmful intentions more with every healing breath. Thanks, Keith. How are you? It does point to deductive reasoning, come more from the father. Why do you think that, seasoned troll? Explain your deductive reasoning. Oh no, I just saw your comment about his glasses. Well, um, this is an honest town. We never have a receipt checker at the door at that Walmart. Hopefully somebody will turn them in. Prescription glasses, like somebody might turn them in. So we don't have a receipt checker at our door at our Walmart. So hopefully it'll show up. They'll show up. Last time he lost them, they showed up. Hi, Bradley. How are you? I'm married, Bradley. Um, Is Instacart worth doing? Fendi, yes, it can be, but I'm in like this sweet spot. And whenever I go to a town or city, I mean, like Louisville, Lexington, Bowling Green, it's like people can't be making minimum wage. They're doing it. And it's like, so you're dealing with city traffic. The orders are so low, is my point, because there's so many more Instacarters in the big cities. So that's a shame. I have done it. Like I do turn it on when I'm in a city and try to like take an order. I've gotten a few really good orders when I'm like in between Louisville and here, and it's like a pickup in Elizabethtown and it deliver in Glasgow or something. But I need to stop taking orders that are out in the country because that the way out in the country, it's like now I'm like I can't keep doing this to my car. Instacart is way better than DoorDash. I liked Shipt, Shipt. That's another thing like Instacart. And you can schedule and like put ahead of time, like this is my schedule, and ahead of time they'll send you orders. That's so nice. I wish Instacart would do that. And people can choose you on Shipt. It's just like not, I have to go to Bowling Green to do Shipt. Actually, I should check and see if maybe there's a zone here because I am I don't think anybody will be surprised. I'm a really good Instacart shopper. I just have cooked for years and I know a lot about a lot of different food and stuff. And on top of that, like I really do treat it like it was my groceries. And apparently a lot of Instacart shoppers and it screwed us all over with the tips because like they'll just like not get the case of water because they don't feel like dealing with it. I don't do stuff like that. And I had so many people tell me, "You're the best." Or like when they did get me again, just by happenstance, they're like, "Oh, I was so glad when I saw that it was you." Um, uh, so it just sucks when because I have hernias. What is going on with the Oh my gosh. I was like, why are people saying black? I'm such a ditz. This life has a $1 million Beeman Valentine fee. Homer dude. Homer dude, how are you? And how's your girlfriend? I felt like really hope you're still in here, Homer dude. I felt so bad when I was like into my notes and like I should have put my notes down and like talked to you, and I'm sorry about that. Um, are you answering my question with blacks when I said who's responsible for the most havoc? Jack Johnson, the no-no people. That's a good answer, Jack Johnson. And I like your name, Jack Johnson. Hi, Jacob. How are you? In the jowls. We all had a hand in it throughout history. Yeah, that is true. Like I was gonna say who has like enslaved the most people, but I don't really know like technically, factually what that would be. I would assume it's white people and have done the most. David Hoffman, he's a filmmaker. I really like he has he's in his 70s or 80s, and he's been making films ever since, I don't know, his 20s or 30s. So he has quite the archive of just stuff that he has filmed and people he's interviewed. And it's some of the most insightful shit I've seen on YouTube because it is like he was always interested in talking about things like, I don't want to necessarily say taboo, but just like, certain topics. Like there was this interview, it's the woman that grew up on a plantation and this was in the 70s, and she was probably in her 50s or 60s. And she was basically like making the case for how Black people were happier when they were slaves. And it's like you wonder how people can be the way that they are. And then you have to realize that was somebody's grandma, somebody that's like alive right now. That was like their great grandma or something like that. And also this one video about like baby boomers who were wealthy didn't do the hippie stuff as much. I just thought that was super interesting, like little topics like that. And it's a lot of fun to spoil a woman on Valentine's Day. Yeah, Primo. I love you too, Brandon. My husband spoils me in ways that most women don't get spoiled. He seriously, like, hands down, most women would cut off a finger, if not a whole limb to I'm not gonna he's such a good husband. He is such a good dad, and we can't afford a lot, but I'd rather, be sticking it out with him. Hannah Shaquille said. What are you talking about? Your name's not Hannah, is it? Can you eat the dribble? I don't know what you're talking about, random. Look up the hidden ring trick. Oh, nobody's told me something to look up in a few lives. Or maybe it was just one. Oh, Shaquille, good night, Shaquille. Homer, dude, girlfriend is doing better. She came home Sunday afternoon. I'm doing good as well. Thanks for asking. How are you and the family doing? We're all doing well. The weather was so great today. And then the next week, we're going to have so much good weather. And I can't order soil and compost. I was going to say topsoil. That's why I was like, until we get our tax return, which will hopefully be in the first half of March. But I am so looking forward to getting the tax return so we can, you know, work on everything. I need to redo all the beds around our house or double wide, like re-landscape. And oh, I'm so excited because last year I couldn't garden. In case anybody didn't know, I had a hysterectomy. My girlfriend application fee is $5 million. Key said, line up. What's your favorite Chuck E. Cheese game? Oh, DB, that's a good question. I always like the point and shoot, like the aim and really old school games, like arcade, pinball. I love pinballs and anything that you know, have to aim. Like I like all those games, whether it's like spaceship or hunting. I own a balk random. Did you mean to say? Oh, Black Dog Engine said, that's cool. I really want to do more research about that black girl. Can you say more on where I can find the story? Okay, I'm sorry, Engine. My brain is so fried. What black girl are we talking about? Can you remind me of what I was talking about when you're can't find hidden items with that trick? Keith said the ring trick. Is it wrong to purchase a gym membership for here? I don't know what you mean by that, CB. The Mongols killed an estimated 40 to 60 million during their conquest. Oh, Kevin, right. Okay. Happy wife, happy life, Boston said. I mean, Homer said to Boston. It's called shipped. Oh, okay, Fendi, I'm sorry, I don't know. Shipped with a P instead of an F. So like SHIP is in parrot, T is in telephone. Because I thought about doing DoorDash, but didn't know if it was worth it or not. So they do this thing too, just so you know, like this has been my experience with all gig work. Like it's really good at first. You're like, oh my gosh, I can make hundreds of dollars a week doing this, maybe even break 1,000. Oh my God, I think I did break 1,000 with DoorDash and this was in 2020. I seriously started DoorDash right at the beginning of everything that went down in 2020. And then when the restaurant shut down, it was like so different, but now they do this thing where, like, I liken it to like a rug dealer. They like give you a really good deal the first few shifts you work, and they give you really good orders and like lock you in, but don't expect that to always be the case. And then the more shitty orders you take, the more likely you are to get like more good orders. So sometimes it is good just to like suck it up and do some. But DoorDash is full of illegal immigrants. I'm sorry, like I just like really do feel like that's why the ICE agent was following that DoorDasher. They like know that because they do make you scan your face sometimes, but like they don't do it enough. And like it's just been a common thing. I've never had trouble with anybody. Nobody's ever done anything to me. It's just something that I have definitely noticed. Anyways, just like being out and about, there's like people using other people's accounts and that kind of made it so there's all these like $2 orders. It's really unfortunate because when it's your literal only way to make money, like, you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. That's what they do on purpose because they know that they're going to take. Sometimes I'm like, if we could all band together and everybody that does Instacart be like, don't accept anything under like X amount for these certain parameters. Like we really could, because they'll go if an order isn't taken on Instacart, and I'm sure it's like other, it'll just keep going up in price sometimes. Some orders won't go up. I guess it depends on how much the customer has spent with Instacart. Sometimes it will go up and it'll be like 20 cents. Sometimes it's like, fuck you, but it'll be like a whole dollar sometimes, and then it'll keep going up and up and up, and I've gotten orders that were like 10, $15 more because usually they don't go that high though, like that much higher. And it's like if we could all just like agree to like wait and like make because you can pay us more, but you're not. And just so you know, if you do order Instacart or like any delivery, I would assume it might be the same. You might get your order put in with another order. So you might have like 4 things and think, well, my ice cream will be here pretty soon because I just ordered 4 things. But then while the person's at the store, they might be like, do you want this other order with like 30 things? It's going to take them a half an hour. And then your stuff is sitting there, and then it is so much more complicated at like checkout. And anyways, I just think people should know that if they're paying good money for grocery delivery, I think you should be able to be like, no, don't put my order with anybody else's. I want my order. That's some Homer dude. Thank you so much, Homer dude. That's so sweet of you. $5. YouTube censors mean words engine. Stop being a meanie. What's going on? Um, Let me see. Is it wrong to purchase? Oh, I already read that. Kevin, that was a really good comment too. Thank you for reminding me of the Mongols. And what about that crazy stat? Like there was so much conquesting women. Isn't it something like 60% of people in that area are related to Genghis Khan? Isn't that something crazy like that? Ben, my husband likes pineapple on pizza, and he's made me grow to love it. I used to think it was gross, but if it's not your cup of tea, just wait. Maybe one day you'll like it. Your live stream has broken community guidelines. That's so funny. Of all the live streams I've done, I'm sure this wouldn't be the one to do that. I'm trying to do research here about the slavery era. It gone. And not there's a modern day slaves, and I'm not trying to liken it to like the slavery that happened in our country, but there are definitely people who are like indentured servants as well as like literal. That's the thing. It's so sick to think about people like buying people, and that's one thing that happens apparently when you are rich and corrupt enough. Maybe it's worth it to the other Instacarter who's to say what someone's time is worth if not the person themselves. Yeah, Joel, that is a very good point. But I'm telling you, like, there's stuff in the cities that they would never ever, it's like really rare to get an order. That can be under $10 sometimes, but rarely. And in Louisville, it's like half of the orders are under $10. It's not right what they do. And one thing, lost track of what he was talking about. 2 push-ups for 20 bucks. Oh, no. Who's Who'ser? You should vibe code your own delivery app. Vibe code, I don't know what you mean by that. Probably like 3, but it's something, Homer Dude said. What's your favorite band, Survivor? Oh, and somebody asked me what my favorite thing to eat was earlier, and I didn't answer them. Um, Dave Matthews Band, I've seen them the most live. I haven't seen them um, since their saxophone player died. That was so long ago. I don't want to see him now that he died. Oh, Kevin, I appreciate your channel. Treat yourself tomorrow. Oh, Kevin, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Seriously, Kevin, I really, really appreciate you. Just your presence is enough, but like seriously, thank you. It's like getting my edited videos and the algorithm, oh my gosh, I really do have a good feeling about gardening content. I'm gonna make a lot of regular garden content. And I want to stream from the garden too. I think that will be really fun. And I really do hope that like we will all benefit from me getting in the algorithm. No, it's just a felony. Pineapple on pizza, go to jail, Fendi said. Oh, he really doesn't like it. Hey, Dev, how are you? I don't know what you mean by saying alders question mark. I'm sorry. But who was the black girl that said black people are happier when they're working in plantations? Oh, Engine, that was on David Hoffman's channel. And I believe that video was like 9 months old or maybe a year old. And it was an older woman and she was saying it was so ridiculous, you guys. And I only say this because it is insightful, like really to and this was like a hoity-toity woman who obviously grew up, a nice wealthy person and still is and has never had it has the nerve to say they were happier because they sang as they worked and now they don't sing. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That was her justification, and then to think these people really walked among the rest of public and thought these things, it really is interesting, and that's why so many people are the way that they are today. Uh, and Jen, we don't no, we don't. Master Kirk whipped me again. I don't know what you mean by that, Evil Kyle. Streaming from the garden sounds fun. Yes. I'm so excited about gardening. David Hoffman, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, he has a neat channel, all sorts of stuff. Uh, David Hoffman, he's been a filmmaker since like the 60s, I believe. So he uploads things. I would like to be a member of his. One of these days, I'll actually sign up to be a member because I think he probably has a lot of interesting stuff in the members only. But yes, just so you guys know, the title of the chat, Six Sad World, that's like a reference to this cartoon. It was a show in a show, Daria. And I was just thinking as I was watching this YouTuber behind the screen talk about baby Frida. If you didn't know, or I'm sorry, Freda Baby. I've never bought this brand personally, but it's like for babies and mothers, a whole product line of just stuff for babies. And they're doing using disgusting marketing techniques, saying disgusting at overt sexual innuendos. Like there's no, well, like you're taking it that way. It's like these are overt innuendos on products for children and mothers, and it's a, like, woman-owned, woman-led. There's probably men that work for it, but they made it sound like it's mostly women. It might be all women, and this is the stuff that's happening, and, like, oh gosh, that's when I thought of Sick Sad World. I was like, it's really like we're in an episode of a show like that, and they had silly headlines that was always on in the background, and it was something that would be kinda, like, tongue in cheek. um I can't think of any headlines, but, it's like crazy shit that you don't think would happen in real life. And like the McMartin preschool, I have done a lot of research. Like I said, every few years I looked at Boys Town, and that's something a lot of people don't know about. But like McMartin preschool is something that I think most people didn't know about. And this was in the early 80s. People were saying, UGO, that like these things were happening, satanic ritual abuse. And we started to talk about jerky a little bit. I want to talk about it a little bit more because I want to see what you guys feel about all of this. Somebody in the chat earlier today said that they don't believe it was talking about human flesh because that is what most people are think bouncing around the idea of in these e files. You know what I mean by e files. There is a lot of talk of jerky, a lot, like so much. But it does also seem like he was on some kind of like carnivore diet. Take out said dry babies. Take out the mega trash. I like your name. Yeah, like I bounce back and forth. I don't have a super strong opinion. Like I don't personally have like a, I call him whoosh. You guys, I had a feeling to turn on the light when I went to pee the other night, and there was a freaking wolf spider in the toilet bowl. Like a wolf spider, not a very big one, but still like big enough that, like, yeah, if I sat down, it might have bit me. I took a picture of it to show my husband. I'm like seriously? Because normally I would just go in there in the dark, you know what I mean? And like, because it was like I was in bed and I had a feeling to turn the light on, and there was a freaking wolf spider in the toilet. And so Mr. Carey, how are you? Don't be sorry, Mr. Carey. Stop it. Don't you ever be sorry. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Christian. Thank you, Mr. Carey. I really appreciate that. We got $55, Mr. Carey. Dove said curry. Are we talking about the jerky? No, Jimmy. My husband did not. Oh, Homer, dude, thank you so much. You guys, thank you. I don't know if I shouldn't speak for my husband. I don't know if he would want that to be public information, honestly. Although I think technically it is if people knew his name right. But like we both wanted Trump to win, and I've been honest about that. And Mr. Carey said, thank you all for supporting the channel. Spider was getting a drink. It was so creepy. And it was just a good example of like the more you listen to your instincts, it's like exercising a muscle, in my opinion. Like the more you really listen to yourself, the more your intuition will kick in. And like it happens to me a lot. It happens a lot. And I'm not saying I'm special. I think that everybody has the same abilities. Oh, Homer, dude, are you going? You trust in God. Good. Where the spirit is free. That's great. If I think that, oh, you said Jesus loves you. Thank you. Hi, Trent. How are you? I think if you can have faith in a higher power, that's like the way to be. These emails that reference jerky, one mentions going through 70 pounds of steak. They do specifically talk about steak. I believe some kind of like, oh, was it New York strip? It was like a more expensive cut, which makes sense. He could afford anything, right? How are you, Z? Oh, militant prepping. How are you? Good evening, coward. I don't know if I should block that or not, Zimbo. But I just think it's really interesting that there's no pictures of him eating jerky. And whatever kind of jerky it is, like he has to have it specially made. So, like, maybe it's something that varies sometimes. Sarah Holcomb, she's an independent journalist that I really like. She brought up how Kuru disease is something you get from cannibalism. And there's pictures of him with like a swollen face. And she said that can be a sign or a symptom of Kuru disease, which is, gosh, is that a prion disease? If so, that would be bad. But then once again, this person has access to I thoroughly believe people like him, if he had some freaky disease and they only had some medicine in trial, like with with the kind of resources and wealth he has, he could go get access to that clinical trial drug that like nobody else can just go get access to. And stuff like that makes me sick. The chef that was making it for him also worked at a restaurant he owned, I'm sorry, it was called Cannibal something. I didn't write it down because most people kept calling it Cannibal, and then one person said it was like called Cannibal and something. Once again, it's almost like they're trying to like throw it in our faces, and they had it analyzed in a lab. I was thinking like, yeah, I don't really like have a strong feeling either way until I saw this. There was one picture of this alleged jerky in the DOJ files, okay? And it was one of the files that they deleted after the fact. Like, why bother deleting any of this stuff at this point? Like, don't they know that people are already, like, the internet is forever? I don't know. Maybe they're hoping people haven't found it. Good to see you, Militant. How are you doing? How's your family? Brian says hello from Florida. That's nice, Brian. I've lived all over Florida. Oops. Sometimes life ain't what it seems. Hold on to your dreams, Steve said. Yeah, Zimba, I was talking about the jerky, but we're talking about all sorts of stuff. Does anybody recognize my reference to Daria in the title? Um, what is Aiden saying, Dove? I don't see an Aiden. Is it somebody that I have blocked, possibly? It must be somebody that's blocked if you're talking about a recent commenter. Have you ever had butter on a Pop Tart? No, Danton. That sounds kind of gross. Nobody is researching this for a medicine, Keith said. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. It's not about him. It's what was created from money and power, all fed by human desires. So do not think any of us are innocent. Where the spirit is free. Oh, I do think some of us are innocent from those. Okay, you timed out Aiden Jones. I see it now. I think that there's definitely I do not subscribe to that, like everybody sins, therefore like don't judge anybody else's sin. I do not subscribe to that at all. That's what I would like to make a society where it's like here, like we'll all live in this side of the country where people absolutely think it's like I think it should be the most serious crime and it should be dealt with accordingly. I feel like my earbud just you know what I mean? I can't say what I think should happen to people who bring harm to children on YouTube because that would break community guidelines. And I think the only reason I hope I sound good. The only uh, thank you, Homer and Kevin Boston said. Yeah, thank you. I want a wife that looks like you. Oh, that's sweet, Mr. Pontius. I actually, one of the sweetest things when I was like a teenager and people would make fun of me because I worked at a resort that was on the beach, and they would also always say, "Why don't you have a tan? Look, there's the beach. Why do you look like that?" Like, seriously, those like grown people of retirement age nonstop telling me how pale and pasty, getting called pale and pasty left and right. And I don't tan well, I just don't. And then this one lady like, not that it matters, but she just happened to be like a really pretty blonde lady herself. She goes to her son, who was like, I don't know, like 8 to 10 at the time. And she goes, "Look at her. If you ever meet a woman like her, you marry her." Some, I don't know if she said marry. She said something. You ask her out, pay attention to her or something. She looks like Snow White. And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. Everybody calls me pasty and pale." And that's what I was talking about the pretty privilege stuff. For whatever privileges you get as an attractive person, you also get like threefold bullshit thrown your way. I'm like, oh, that chick doesn't she doesn't need any empathy. Look at her. Oh, bye, Jingle. I don't know where Jingle is. You're saying bye to Jingle, so I want to say bye, but I don't see them. Mr. Curry to help or I don't know what you mean by that. I have 2 tattoos, and they're not in weird places, no. Hi, David, how are you? So I think it seems to be like overall, a lot of people don't think that this jerky is human. And that's really interesting to me too, that like it's kind of hard for people to like, I guess we would need real proof of this for anybody to say like this is definitely what's happening. But really interesting. And he also ordered a ton of sulfuric acid, which can be used when you live on an island. It can actually be used to desalinate water. Like, who knew that? Oh, Lone Wolf, how are you? But I'm sorry I didn't see your comment till just now. But he ordered like 2 or 3 times more than what he had been previously ordering at one point, and that was super interesting. Right around the time he was being investigated years ago, so it's almost like, did he have something to hide? I'd still like to know if the door that leads to water, it like some people say that's the ocean and some people say it's a cistern. It looks like ocean water that's moving around to me. I've seen some water cisterns that the water wasn't like sloshing around in there, you know. But then again, they weren't like on islands. I hid Jingle. Oh, Mr. Carey. Okay. I thought you said goodnight. Might your affective and romantic proclivities be predominantly orientated toward conspecifics of identical gender, reflecting a homoerotic or homoromantic inclination within your psychosocial identity? Oh my gosh, Zombie, are you Chat GPT? That was so funny. Hi, how are you? William Afton is a furry. I don't know who William Afton is. Um, oh, okay. Mr. Carey, I'm so slow. You saying, sorry. So, what else? Freda Baby, we talked about this. Another thing that, oh my gosh, Les Wexner had this store called Justice, which he transferred to Epstein. It's just crazy to think about how much of our lives, how connected. I was a little older for Justice. That store is for like preteen girls. When it came out, I was already kind of like old for it. You know what I mean? It was like out of my age range. But I do remember thinking that their clothes were so cute and like they were kind of on the spendy side for what they were. It was like Abercrombie prices or something. And it's just so Oh, it's so disturbing to think about. This man, literally, it was like in his foundation's name, owned a clothing company. It's almost like I'm just purely speculating here, but it's like these people that have so much wealth amassed, and they're like, yeah, we've got Victoria's Secret. We have access to these beautiful young women, but like we want access to even younger women. Why don't we just make a clothing line for those women? And then I start to think about like, oh my gosh, I hate to say it. Like we can't even have stores for specific age ranges now without something being nefarious about it. It's horrible. Did you see the thing about the underwater entrance to the island submarines? Yeah, militant. I don't know when you made that comment. That's what I was talking about. It's like a door, there's water, and it's like a ladder. And some people are saying that it's a water cistern, but I've never seen a water cistern uh, like that. And the submarine thing is interesting because supposedly Ghislaine Maxwell had, what is it called, a submarine license? Whatever. She was certified to uh, operate submarines. I don't know how you say that. You don't say operate, whatever. And it's like it goes so deep. Like I can't even, I have a hard time really think about it. John the God was a man that Oprah associated with. And he is in prison now, from Brazil. He had a baby farm. He impregnated like dozens of women and over, sold the babies black market, like all sorts of stuff. Like some was like organ harvesting, like it's crazy. They walk around streets of countries like Mexico and tell people that if they are, a good match for somebody on their list, they'll give them $5,000 for their kidney. And this person making the deal, or the people they work with, whatever, they're making like a 90 to 100,000, and then the person giving the organ, I would be so scared if you put me to sleep, you're just going to take all of my organs. Like I don't see how anybody trusts that, but uh It's so sad to think about. There's definitely a black market for these things, and I don't even wanna talk about organ donation. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from it. It's just so unfortunate. I can cook corn husker. I cooked an awesome meatloaf tonight, didn't I, honey? Did you see the thing about the underwater entrance? Oh my gosh, I read that. Your mod, they're doing a great job. Yes, they always do, Dev. I have the best mod. She cooks. My husband said, Jared, and what about these people harvesting eggs and eating baby jerky? I was just talking about the jerky, Jared. There's like a lot of, I understand people not thinking it's human. Uh, but I think that it's possible. We don't know for sure. Like Les Wexner has always been creepy. Yes, Joshua, it's nice that he has to go to a hearing. He's going to be in front of that committee, whatever, soon. Like that Bondi, the way she acted when she was like what did she say exactly? And then she said, Trump, the Dow is at 50,000. And like somebody was saying that's what she said. I was like, this has to be a joke. And the woman was like, that's literally what she said, word for word. And I was like, I'm sorry. It was Sheila. She's one of my favorites, Sheila Nor. And immediately looked up and found the exact clip. And she literally like it's incredible. And she herself is not a Scientologist, but she is definitely like been in bed with Scientology and Scientologists in a lot of ways. And it's just really interesting because it's something we don't hear so much about. But I really do think, just as with these wealthy people, like we didn't hear about Epstein much either. And it's so prevalent. He was also associated with Howard Stern as well. Oh, Joshua, that doesn't surprise me at all. He is such a horrible pervert. I went through a period in my life where I was like, okay with that kind of stuff. And like, if you're more open-minded than me. The older I get, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, he was part of the problem. He's like that shock jock stuff, and it's always usually at a woman's expense. He's done some horrible, horrible interviews, man. The things he said to women and young women, especially, yeah, I have no doubt he hung out in these circles. That's not surprising at all. It is really wild, militant. Oprah Winfrey has a next island. It's called Maui. We learned from the e-files that Pizzagate was real, right, Joshua? And that's something that we've been told, like, every decade what's going on, but, like, what can the average person do? Hot dogs, pizza, jerky, it's too weird to be about actual food. And militant prepping, they were saying pizza and grape soda, and, like, people that know a lot about these things, every single person is like, "What does grape soda," like, we know what a lot of the other Inuit code words are, but that's really interesting how they have, like, this and the way they're talking about it. And once again, there's no pictures of him eating pizza, even though apparently he took pictures like every freaking activity he did. Seemingly, it's like there's a lot. And if you had so many pizza parties in particular with people, um, it's like funny, but it's not funny to me. When I was a lot younger, we would call eating pizza, that's what we would call like smoking green. We'd be like, "We're eating" that was like a code word for it. Oh, it makes me so grossed out now thinking about that. And we also would say cookies sometimes, like, depending on what the situation was, sometimes cookies was, like, a lot more feasible. "We're gonna go eat some cookies," or something. And, so everybody, like, has their code words, and you think about stuff like that and how I is this the natural evolution of things when people have so much wealth and resources at their fingertips, they always end up being or most often end up being horrible humans who take advantage of other humans? Like, is that just the way it is? Because once you have, I don't want to think that's the way it is. Do you guys remember a while ago the Dalai Lama like stuck his tongue out and told this kid to suck on it or something like that? Remember that a few years ago? And I saw that Dalai Lama speak in Louisville a long time ago, and it was like one of the best spiritual experiences of my life. He totally tainted that. And it's like, these people we look up to the most. And I think that I don't know what the free kiss deal was with that, but not to disparage all Buddhists, but I think his mask fell. Maybe he's got some kind of like dementia or something. But I know he's still out there, right? Like out and about. And it's like, it's been thrown in our face so much. Who is Artie Lang? I know I've heard that name before. Howard Stern, another no, no. Yes. We do not have enough cattle to make up all the burgers sold nationwide in fast food restaurants, Alita said. Oh, I saw it was a woman speaking in Spanish too. I was like, I wish she was speaking in English. But that's what she was like insinuating. And then they even showed the scene that looked pretty like convincing. But I know with AI, it could be, oh, the comedian. I do know who that is. Was he in the E-Files? Didn't Artie Lang pass away? Yeah, I read that he was on the island. Artie was, Joshua said. Oh no. McDonald's is huge. Um, it is really disturbing, and if you they we're only gonna have less and less cattle. The things they're doing with farmland, for a few years, grain was so expensive that a lot of people sold some of their breeding stock. Like, the cows they normally would keep to breed, they went ahead and sold some of those. So, like, a lot of people's herds are just smaller than what they would have been if there wasn't those issues with the supply chain, and then they couldn't afford to feed their herd, and, like, it's just insane, and that's one good thing that's, like, not just because we live near a bunch of cattle farm doesn't mean we're never gonna run out of it, but oh my gosh, you guys, there was this bull, I took a video of it, there was this bull that was kind of freaking me out when I was waiting for my son at the bus stop. He was he wouldn't stop staring at me, and then I had this on video. He was, like, trying he wasn't being very aggressive, but he was, like, trying putting all his weight into the fence, and I just, like, had my eye on him because he was far enough away that I didn't feel the need to move, but close enough that I'm like, "If that bull breaks through the fence, I need to, like, roll my windows up and go." Huge, huge, huge. I think it was an Angus cow, the big black ones. They serve 1,000,000,000 people already, Joshua said. I remember Artie from that baseball movie, Joshua said. And think of all the other restaurants nationwide and how much they are selling daily. So what's in the burgers? Alita said. That's a really good point, Alita. Uh, Aldi's got caught putting horse meat in their meats. No, this is legit. That's not a conspiracy theory. They literally had horse meat. And that always stuck with me because I like Aldi's. If we lived closer to one, I would go more. But like I could never really I like to get their mussels. They had, like, mussel oh my gosh, all mussels are probably, like, irradiated from Fukushima. How old do you got to be 1,000,000? Merle Watts said. Oh, Merle. Human is in the burgers, Joshua said. Yeah, the people that go missing, like, the children that go missing okay, so I saw something super interesting. First of all, this woman put her breast milk under a microscope, and if you've never seen breast milk under magnetized, you need to see it literally looks like fairy does. I've never seen anything like it under a microscope. It is amazing. It literally you need to see this. It's seriously and I didn't breastfeed all 3 of my babies. So like if that didn't work out for you, like I totally don't want anybody to feel bad about it, but I know that when my babies had pink eye, like squirt some breast milk in there and it would take care of their pink eye. I remember one time I was nursing the last one and the older kids got pink eye and I told my son, I'm like, you can use some of my breast milk or like these eye drops. And he chose the eye drops and I was like, I respect that. I'm not gonna make, like I don't know how old he was. Like my 10-year-old put breast milk in his eye if he doesn't want to. But it really is amazing and healing. And so then this it was like a compilation video. This man started reading from a medical textbook. This was old school, like I don't know what year, probably the 1800s or early 1900s, where it's talking about what the woman is going through is so crucial and affects her breast milk so much. And that if you have gotten angry, sad, go through grief, you shouldn't nurse your child because it is poisoning the breast milk. And I'm sorry, I don't want to put any more on nursing mothers' shoulders than need be. I get it. Like you're told different things by different people sometimes, and, like, you're already avoiding so much, but I thought that was super interesting to me. Oh my gosh, and they were talking about fabrics and how those affect your, like, energy and aura, and particularly polyester is, bad. It's like a dead frequency, they called it, and I have mango sparkling water. That commercial was telling us a lot. Look at the commercial, it's creepy. What commercial? So, have you watched the Soul Green commercial at KFC? No, I haven't heard about it. So, has anyone actually found any incriminating pictures in the Epstein files? Oh, Primo, yes. Primo, one of the most disturbing things I saw was a little girl and her underwear was around her ankles, and it was like it had her privates in her face blacked out, but it was so disturbing. It's in a house that's not one of Epstein's houses. You can tell he didn't live in a place that looked like this, okay? This was like a more of an average house. And so there's nothing left to investigate. There's nothing left to investigate though. There was binders of pictures that were so bad they couldn't scan them. Child sexual abuse material. But the youngest victim was 13 and there's nothing and nobody left to investigate, right? And that's what like they know that they can, especially after 2020. Sometimes I really do feel like that was like a what's it called, a practice run to see how much people would like put up with. And they know they're like, especially now that things are as bad as they are and more people are living paycheck to paycheck, more people don't have a savings and like can't defend themselves. It's interesting reading these, like them talking about 5 years from now. It's like, oh, it must be so nice to be. And if you're in this boat because you worked hard for it, good for you. I'm talking about like an elite person, billionaire, just throwing around money. Their biggest problem is how to move their money around to make it look more legit. And they're like 5 years from now talking about the designer baby company. And I'm like, oh, that would be like a dream come true to just have so much money. You could have your 5-year goal is like, at this point, we'll be doing this and that. And like, I know a lot of people have businesses that thrive, but just to have the ability to make money, like literally talking about things and hiring other people to do all of the work for you, to have all the power to hire doctors, whatever professionals you needed. Um, Awareness is the enemy of action, Darlie said. What do you mean by that, Darlie? That's really interesting. So you're saying like kind of like the individuation process where we talked about. Carl Jung said it can like be stunted by like extreme findings, like when you really realize like what a lot of people are now, how all of society or not most of society is ran by creeps. Hi Nathan, how are you? The oxytocin in breast milk is so good for babies. Militant prepping, that reminds me of this fact, like, when given oxytocin, and I'm sure this was like synthesized, or dill during labor, pregnant women had more benefits from dill, consuming dill. Yes, I'm talking about like dill weed, dill that you usually use in your tuna salad, potato salad. Primo. I don't know, Primo. They protected the person who it was from or whatever, Primo. There's tons of people who are being protected, which the only sense that that would make legally is if those people were blackmailed by Epstein. That's the only way this would make sense in a legal manner. But the FBI has already said that he didn't blackmail anybody. So if that's not the case, there's absolutely no reason for anybody to be redacted. And they are definitely covering up for people. There are co-conspirators. They've literally said that. Co-conspirators. And one of them is Les Wexner. Primo, are you a pedo protector? 'Cause you can just come right out and say it if that's what you're getting at. You can, like, stop wasting our time and just say what you wanna say and, be done with it. Our world is a shit show. I'm tired of cover-ups. Right, Budget? I feel the same way, and a lot of them girls are facilitators as well. It's called the Stockholm Syndrome. Yes, Joshua. That is true. His one of his main girlfriends, Nadia, he put her through dental school, so she is probably, and I guess the excuse was they're trying to, he liked nice teeth, which is funny because like he didn't have picture perfect teeth himself, so he didn't have Nadia working on his teeth, it seems like. But that's the excuse that he wanted to like work on these girls' teeth. I don't buy that so much. I mean, maybe that's part of it. But did you hear what Pam Bondi said? She said that if they prosecute everyone in the Epstein files, the whole system would collapse. And I'm like, good, let it right, Fendi. Yes, I did see that. And then it's like that theory that are they going to be like, okay, everything's so corrupt. Here's this AI government. Here's a software that will be more unbiased than any human. Okay, so I'll assume they haven't found any incriminating content in the Epstein files yet, Primo said. Is that why there's two? Well, one person in jail and one person who supposedly died in jail. I just don't know what the point is about like it's so obvious it's a cover up. Anybody like Primo that wants to like try to play, I don't know what kind of games about it. I was like, I'm sorry, Primo. You need to know, like any discerning person is gonna look at you as complicit. I can only imagine covering up for these actions. It is somebody who's also a pervert themselves. Did you hear what Pam? I'm so bad about doing that. Oh, hi, Daniel. How are you? He's my president, Alex said. Yeah, unfortunately, he's our president. Yep, we used Dale when my wife had our last baby. I know what you're talking about. Oh, militant, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I did not know any of like the health benefits until I started growing it like 8 years ago. They take out the teeth to get rid of DNA. Yeah, and teeth, if you guys didn't know, like your teeth are harder than your bones. So it's really hard to get rid of teeth, even if you've burned a body, like the bones are the last thing. The teeth are the last thing to go. So that's really interesting. You saw the picture of the dentist chair. Yes, Joshua. And those masks, somebody was talking about ritual sacrifices, and it was like, I forget exactly what group of people did this, but they said that people wore masks with smiles on them during these sacrifices because often they were, especially if it was like the parent, the baby being sacrificed, they were not happy. And so they would also put a smiling face on the sacrificed baby after they sacrificed it. Because, like, oh, it's so disturbing. And to be told this doesn't happen anymore, especially in a Christian nation, right? Like I consider ourselves a Christian nation, okay? Because especially where I've grown up, there's like a church every mile. I know it's not technically, but it is the majority religion. And yeah, I did grow up saying pledge of allegiance to the flag, under God and all that. And it makes me so sad. Like, and I do feel like it makes me lean towards Christianity even more because I feel like it's like an overt attack on Christianity. And once you really start to unravel like the Satanists and like I'm like the first devil was in the Bible, like that's not true. There was things that were practically like the devil in other culture, like Beelzebub and stuff that's like way before the Bible. There's always been a devil for most of our known history, and this is what they obviously lean towards and sacrifice to. And and the more you learn about it, it's like, okay, so this is why they hate Christians so much. And now that makes a lot more sense, actually. The list wouldn't have ever come out if Trump wasn't in office. Oh, you think so, Joshua? I don't know. He stopped. I mean, you're right. Nobody else put it out, but like he ran on divulging everything and he hasn't. Hi, Christopher. How are you doing? I'm just not a ghost accuser. I'm kind of a fact-based person. Well, Primo, it's because of people like you that they'll continue to get away with what they're getting away with. Because I don't know. I guess it has to literally slap you in the face, like literally slap you for you to see what's going on. And when there's evidence, can and is witness statements, especially corroborating evidence, when you have the people saying the same thing over and over, and the fact that they're not investigating it leads to shit like this where people can be like, oh, plausible deniability. Well, I'm a fact-based person. You are not empathetic enough. The thing that makes us human isn't our ability to think logically. It's our ability to empathize with other beings sometimes, and reasoning takes both often. I'm uh They just toss the teeth in the ocean. Yeah, but they could still be found technically. You know what I mean? To be like as foolproof as you could be, you would get rid of them. That's how they learned of the bodies in the 911 attack. It was through the teeth. Oh yeah, Joshua, that's so crazy. Oh, hey, Stone Papa Smurf. Do you think Jean Benet could have been sacrificed? I think it's possible. I do think this is all my opinion. And you know what, guys? There's this bill that's like got bipartisan support where they like might make it so people can sue the social media platform for things that people said. So I'm not going to be able to like run my mouth the same way if that goes through. That's like really disappointing, or possibly. Um, Oh, that makes me so mad. But I do think that there's way more to John Benet Ramsey, and just like my trailer theory, if they lived in a trailer, their parents would not have gotten away with that. Supposedly, Patty, is that her mom's name? Her sister told somebody that she called her and said he was in there molesting her, and I went to hit him over the head and he moved and I accidentally hit her, and that's what happened that night. And I never heard that theory before. And I'm like, well, we know what they say happened isn't true, like we know that. And That man, he's always struck me as is not a good person. And Jean Benet, there's this picture of her on her sixth birthday. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, look up John Benet and Ghislaine Maxwell picture. And there's like this side profile of a woman that looks so much like Ghislaine. Even in this little bit, you see, like it is undeniable that that could be Ghislaine. And it's like, it is a small world when it comes to these people in these circles. And absolutely. And then there's this picture in one of Epstein, I think it's in the island home that people were like, "This looks like it could be this picture of John Bonet," but they've got the black box on it, so you can't see the person's face, but it is a girl that, like, has at least the same outfit or something like that. People are like, "This is the same outfit Jean Benet had on," and even if he had absolutely nothing to do with it, I could see a creep like him just having, like, a picture of John Bonet. I remember when that happened, and I was a little b 2 years older than John Bonet and being like, who is that, like, 25-year-old girl? Like, the pictures they had of her in the tabloids, I legitimately thought that it was, like, a woman in her 20s, and then when I realized, like, it was that 6-year-old, she was 6. I remember that being quite the moment. "The new Babylon is in Rome," Joshua Tiff said. Yes, I think John Benet's mom was involved with her death. I do too, in my opinion. I'd say Russia is Christian nation, truly, and this place is just New Babylon. Fendi, yeah, you're not wrong. I know hardly anything about Russia because that's what they want. They want us to know nothing about Russia. I know that doesn't mean that I can't learn. I follow is it Viva in Russia? She lives in like rural Russia. This one, she is so freaking cute. And her husband just bought like a little homestead. And it is so neat. How are you, Yeshua? Focus on yourself and health, not things you can't control. I used to follow politics and religion. Rattlesnake, that is very good advice. It's just interesting to talk about, and it really does help me, and I hope it helps others that join my lives, like, process it, and then I do think about it less, you know, and once I hear these things, I'm just, like, saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe," and part of it that's so disturbing is, like, this is real life, but then to talk to other people that feel the same really do help. I can't turn my head, a troll pops a comment. Oh, Mr. Carey. Yeah, it's Friday. That's horrible, Bill. Oh no, I missed something that Bill said. Did I? It's the little blue ones, Blair. Okay, I think the opposite. I think that people obsessed with accusing random people without any evidence are suspect. And how would you know if I'm empathetic or not? Because you can learn about something like the e-files and still walk around on your high horse thinking you're better than other people because you're not going to be horrified by the reality that so many people in so many different industries are tied to this nut that clearly so, Primo, what do you think he paid a gynecologist $100,000 a year for? Do you really think that was just consultation fees? He just wanted to talk to a gyno and paid him $100,000 a year to do it? It's like people like you, I think the cognitive dissonance is so real. You sincerely can't process it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to lack sincere empathy. Like, I'm talking about psychopathic levels to be able to be like, well, show me the proof. After all of this, we have members of our Congress going to look at the proof and coming out horrified and being like, oh my gosh. And you know what they did with their little IDs they gave them? What Pam Bondi is doing, surveilling our politicians, is illegal. There are just so many illegal things left and right that if Biden did it, then you guys would be able to see how illegal it was. And you would be jumping up and down, pointing at it, talking about it too. Undeniable that it could be, Blair said. Did John Bonet's happen before the school shooting? Joshua, I don't remember if it was before Columbine. Why do you people immediately start insulting people and casting personal judgments as soon as you suspect there's possibly an opposing opinion? I haven't said anything rude about you. Primo, you don't have to say anything rude about me. The fact that you're trying to insinuate that we are like of lesser intelligence or somehow have a worse moral compass than you because you refuse to see the obvious. Says a lot. You walked in here. I would never go on somebody else's live who believed differently than me. Hi, Rob. How are you doing, Rob? Yes, Joshua. No, I haven't watched the whole movie, Joshua. The movie's Eyes Wide Shut. I was just telling my husband that I've seen tons of like synopsises on it. No, I don't do good impressions at all. I'm not. good at that. Uh, can you recreate that movie? No. Law enforcement was not equipped or trained well enough to solve that little girl's murder, in my opinion. Right, Mr. Carey, they totally botched it. And that's part of the problem was like y- they never did a crime like that. They hadn't had any experience, even in the city, was so low crime that they weren't used to things like that. Eddie, I'm a quarter Colombian. Primo, well, he literally had a gynecologist on staff, and that man has since quit his prestigious job. He didn't do it on his own accord. He waited until the proof was out there as of like 4 or 5 days ago. And it was the Ohio State University. He was the head of the OBGYN. Like, so I started talking about John the God. He's this person, Oprah had him on her show. And then it was found out later, of course, that like he was this horrible person. And in my opinion, I think Oprah might be one of these people that participates in like the worst of the worst. And um, so that thing about breast milk too. I mean, talking about how much it affects your thoughts affect your breast milk. And of course, I think the same can be said about like water, period. We're made of mostly water. That's probably what is going on if you and some people say that there was a Japanese guy who put lots of things under a microscope and showed how, like, when people concentrated on water and had certain feelings, it made the water appear differently. Like it was the chemical I shouldn't say chemical composition. The water, if you haven't seen it, it's like very popular. I've seen it. It was on a documentary back in the day, but then I've seen people try to debunk it online or say that it's not necessarily true. But I do believe that water, I mean, your thoughts affect you on a cellular level. We're made of mostly water. So that's another reason, like, yeah, it is important not to sit around thinking about it. Oh, Michael. Thank you, Michael. That's nice. Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing, Joshua. Yeah, I do think that that didn't make much sense, and the fact that we haven't been back since also doesn't make any sense, but I don't know 100%. Hi, DeWitt, how are you? Good, enjoying the rain, we needed it. Oh, that's good, Rob. Oh, is it Roby? Am I saying it wrong, or is it Robbie? Is it Robbie? Stanley Kubrick made my favorite movie, Full Metal Jacket. I've never seen that one either. Hi, Boston and Mr. Carey, Rob said. Yes, Winfrey is, yeah, the school Oprah had in Africa. Oh, yes, Danielson. Oh my gosh, yes. She oh, that's so horrible to think about. Leprechaun 3 is a great movie. Still on Papa Smurf. Are you watching that right now? I've seen all the Leprechaun movies. That's so funny you brought those are they're like the kind of movie that's like so bad it's good. Do you think that the epi stuff will eventually just blow over? Kevin, probably in the sense that there's not going to be tons of justice, but who knows? I do think that it's been a turning point for a lot of people, and people are going to finally, hopefully, put their money where their mouth is. That's one of the only things we can do. I know a lot of people boycotted the no no people because of the genocide. It would just be nice if we could come together and like seriously. I know like we shop at Walmart, it's not many options around here and but if we could just decide to boycott on the same week, like 50, 30% of us boycotting for a week the same business. Oh my gosh. Papa Smurf, how about Critters? Remember those movies? Oh yes. Oh, thank you, Leo. Leo sent 100. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Carey, take your time. Critters, Gremlins, Tremors, love the classics. Yes. Oh, it's so sad. Primo said, okay, but again, what did he pay the gyno for? I'm not being rude. I genuinely trying to understand what you're saying. I'm sure everyone here has a perfect moral compass. Primo, he said it was for consultations. Now you tell me what an older man has to consult a gynecologist for. It makes a lot of sense if he had a lot of women and girls coming and going, right? And another thing is nobody talks about the boys. There is so much evidence. There are lots of pictures of boys. Nobody talks about boys. This happened to women, children, women, boys, girls. And I don't know if there are for sure not there was any men. I don't know. I have a feeling, they're the kind of people like they wouldn't, they're too much of a coward to take on another man. Oh, Henny, I'm sorry. I don't need any new mods right now. I had a bad experience modding somebody once, so I try to not mod anybody anymore. Wasn't Kevin Bacon in Tremors? Tremors was a wild or Boston said that, and then Joshua said Tremors was a wild movie. Is that the one that had the big worms? Am I thinking right? Okay, Danielson, the girls had VD. Probably. I couldn't imagine there wasn't some stuff going around. There is this one model, I am not going to be able to say her name. Her name starts with an X, and she's still on social media, like doing her thing, being like a kind of like more like a woman's empowerment. She's a beautiful woman, could tell what she was ever a model. And there's emails of her to Epstein. Mm. Telling him that it'd be easier to find a little girl in France. So, yeah, I think that ideally everybody would know all the details, not to spin our wheels on it, but just so we could know who and what to platform. Yes, I am a professional yapper nocturnal, and you wish you could make money from just yapping. If you want substance, go to like an edited video or somebody else's channel. Fendi, yes, I promise I'll write you back tomorrow, Fendi. If not late tonight. I'm a man. I've never gone to a gyno. Barely understand all the services they provide. It's fine. You've answered my question. Okay, primo. Well, it's you have to have a vagina to go to a gynecologist, usually. It is a female doctor for females and their reproductive organs. So, all this evidence, a woman saying where it would be easiest to find a little girl from. So much child sexual abuse material that they had to put it in binders. And they have binders, pictures of binders that say, this is too explicit for the internet. And you're asking me for details. The explicit details that you have to see to believe the true horrors for yourself aren't even allowed online and because it's literally illegal material. So the fact that that even exists and they're like, okay, here's stuff that's like so bad that we can't show it to you. That's all I need to know. And that's all any discerning person should need to know. Primo. But thanks, because I just look at people like Primo is a lesson to be learned. And one of my favorite like motivational books is called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's a really sad story because that guy actually ended up dying from some horrible brain tumor in his 30s or something. But the whole point was like, even if somebody pisses you off, if somebody cuts you off in the road or like a cashier's being extremely slow and you're being impatient, just think like you're learning a lesson, you're benefiting from even life's inconveniences. You really are, you can be. And I'm not saying that Primo was an inconvenience, but it's like it's interesting to learn about other people's viewpoints. And when I'm like, how can anybody not be shocked and horrified? Well, Primo just gave me the answer because they're like, oh, I need facts. I'm not going to believe anything. I'm a better person because I don't incriminate people until and unless I see facts. And this is why decade after decade, we have proof of the satanic ritual sexual abuse thrown in our faces and nothing gets done about it because enough of the population, but I believe each time more and more people wake up. And so we will get to the point one day, and God, I hope it is this time and it doesn't take another decade and another huge scandal. This is like the largest scandal we've ever been through as a country in modern times. Like, remember how Monica Lewinsky was such a big deal? Um, the way they talked about that, like nonstop when I was a little girl. Oh my gosh. Do you know 2012 Putin had banned the US from adopting their kids? And now you see why. Yes, Fendi. Yes. Hey, Ella Vispin, how are you? Tremors taught us to never give up our GUNs, Joshua said. Danielson, yeah, if you don't mind sending it to my email, if you don't mind, I have my email in my description. I believe it's littlekentucky at proton.me, but you might want to. Oh, you too, Keith. Keith said, have a blessed weekend and with every healing breath, Lydia. Yes, yes. I'd be more willing to believe the gyno was prescribing pills before I'd assume he's doing some crazy examinations on children. Okay. However, you want to $100,000 a year to prescribe some pills that you could probably get. And like, granted, these probably weren't available, but like for years now, they've had online pharmacies where all you have to do is fill out a survey and you can easily get antibiotics. You just can't get like opiates or muscle relaxers. But trust me, I've done it a few times. I've gotten antibiotics for not that it matters, not anything like that, but I've gotten antibiotics through the like you pay like $40 to talk to a doctor. And that would be absolutely ridiculous uh to pay a gynecologist $100,000 a year is hush money. I mean, that's like obvious. $100,000 a year for somebody that probably was like not there in person that much. That is the kind of money that you give somebody when you're like in on the same thing, in my opinion. And I know that's very speculative. I'm talking about party pills for the island, Primo said. I couldn't imagine a doctor in that position and a head of a university. I just those and once again, it probably is possible because like maybe that's why they don't prescribe the rest of us any of those kinds of pills whenever we actually need them. Because it's like, do you ever prescribe painkillers anymore? Like, do you ever? I had a sinus surgery recently, and or this was years ago, and the guy like told the nurse, he's like, give her oxy. I had to cut more than I thought, and she had more stitches than I thought. And I was so swollen from that sinus surgery, it was horrible. And I was like, it was horrible pain too. Oh my god, I couldn't imagine that he even thought about not giving me anything, and it just so when do they ever prescribe anything? Is it just for their rich friends? Probably so, yeah, I do think that a lot of them allegedly are like that. It still doesn't make it any better, and I really don't think $100,000 a year was for something. Oh, good night, Garrett. That, hold on. You said good night, Garrett, because I blocked him. I see. The desperation of the trolls is next level. I know, you have to feel sorry for them, really. Like, I just one chick said, like, it stressed her out to and that put things into perspective for me because they sincerely don't stress me out. I don't think I'd go live for hours a week if they got to me, but whenever I saw somebody else say that it stressed her out, I was like, "Oh, I'm glad that we've made this rule where we're just, like, blocking them, like, no leeway." You've never had antibiotics, Michael, good for you, that's awesome, that's really good. If you ever need them, you definitely know they're gonna work. Well, I know that you can have antibiotic resistant strain of something regardless, but still. Okay, what are these symbols? I keep getting the same symbol like Primo just left. I just see a symbol. Does anybody else see something other than the like chicken scratch and an A? I watched the Honeymooners for years, Mr. Carey. Oh my gosh, Joshua. I only saw like the commercial for that a lot, where he said, "To the moon, Alice." Is that why you said moon? Oh, I see. Virginia has a new tax now for dog walkers. Oh, that makes me so mad. Moonshiner, how are you doing, Moonshiner? How was your week? It's so ridiculous the way it was like we did it, we figured it out, but it was like not I guess it wasn't that hard. It's just ridiculous how they make things when you're doing your taxes. Virginia was a beautiful state. Their new governor is crazy with her new tax laws. I'll never forget when I had my weighted blanket business and I didn't make any money, so I didn't file taxes. And then I realized I looked back and I'm like, I had to pay a fine because I didn't make any money and I didn't file taxes. That was an Obama law. Mm. And that's the kind of things that I know, like, Democrats, like, it's like the pendulum swings too far the other way. Like, I do wish that there was more regulation sometimes, but if they had really went to the moon, they would have found Alice, Joshua said. Oh, that's such a funny comment. Jackie Gleason said that was the honeymooners guy. Trixie was still alive, Joshua said. Hi, Keaton, how are you? The great one, Jackie Gleason. Michael, maybe, maybe not. Just use some moss from Black North Side of Forest Trees antibiotic. Oh, nature's antibiotic. That's really cool, Michael. I'm going to upload it tomorrow, I promise. And I did a live already in my top 12, what I consider to be the easiest to grow as well as most beneficial plants to have. And you guys would be, and it was kind of funny. Yes, Fendi, I had to pay a fine for like all 4 quarters. There was like 4 fines for like each quarter that I didn't make any money. I swear to God, I was so mad. It was only like 100 something altogether, but you guys know, like $100, that's a lot of money um to people on our income. You ever watch Smokey and the Bandit? No, Joshua, I didn't. Should we talk about the E case? Oh, we've been talking about it on and off, Dodie. We had somebody in here earlier that wanted proof. He wanted like actual proof and had nothing to say. Primo, if you're still in here, I'd like to know, like, if you have anything to say to any of the things that I actually told you, like this childhood sexual abuse material that's in binders that they can't take pictures of because that in itself would be an illegal act. I mean, like, um, when was what, Fendi? When was what? Having bees, I have access to propolis, which is loaded with antimicrobial properties. I also ferment garlic and honey. I don't do doctors. Oh yes, Rob. That's awesome. And royal jelly. I've only had like skincare products that said they had royal jelly from a hive. Well, okay, Elsie. See, gonna anybody that says something that's just like not necessary like that, anybody that's gonna be like mean girl in here, they can get blocked too. Like completely like, and I like a good joke. But if you're just gonna say something like my laugh is fake, when you had to pay the fines. Fendi, that was when Obama had just stopped being president. I think it was the year, or maybe it was his last year as president. I remember Trump hadn't won yet. Yeah, it was when Obama, it was like his last year of presidency. I remember when we were living in my mom's basement. I remember when I found out about it being in this bed in the basement. But yes, it is amazing, Rob, how there's so much natural antibiotics in oregano and thyme. I did this live that was like 11, and then I realized I did have a list of 12, and the 12th was oregano. I hadn't put it in my list. And then when I was doing research, oregano has thymol in it. Thymol is this compound in thyme that's like antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral. It's amazing. And it is in a cleaner called Beneffect, which is the only EPA approved cleaner to mitigate mold. uh, I'm sorry, only botanical cleaner that is EPA approved to mitigate mold. Oh, Beachy Waves Forever. That's really nice. I like your name. Fermented garlic. Oh, that sounds good. I don't think I've ever had that. I like it, Moon, but my kids don't. Best tasting medicine. Oh gosh. Isn't propol can you get propolis in a powder? I want to say that I've ordered that and it came in a powder years and years ago when I was making like trying to make toothpaste, which didn't work out, and I tried to make sunblock, which didn't work out. Obama, our first half black president. Yay. Oh, that's funny, Michael. Most people don't say it right. I know what you mean. It's funny how people used to always be like, he's black. I mean, I don't care either way, but yeah, he is like the first biracial president, right? Not that it matters. Apparently, they have terabytes of CP, and that makes me question everything since nothing's really done. I bet there should be so many proofs, etc. Yeah, Dodie. Fendi already brought it up. Like Pam Bondi literally said, like the government would fall if everything came out. It's like, so we're all gonna just like sit here and do nothing. And it like I know I'm not alone in this. Like the way it makes you feel, where it's like it's enraging, but then there's nothing to do about it. And that kind of like and talking about breast milk being affected by negative thoughts. So what is the water in our body doing when we like think these horrible things and stuff? Like I almost feel like that's part of the plan. Like they know that they're stressing us out, and if anything, they're going to get some more pharma customers from this. You kind of look like Sally Field did in Smoking the Bandit. Oh, Joshua, that's a nice compliment. Thank you. I think she is really pretty. Not going to read a comment twice. Is that Obama law still in place? Oh, I doubt it, Fendi. I want to say that Trump did away with that. There was a lot of business regulations like that that Trump did away with. To have it be a powder, you would have to dehydrate it and would lose a lot of its properties. It's super sticky and waxy. Okay, Rob. Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh. I remember what I got, whatever it was like just very slightly bitter. It wasn't horrible. Half black and half GAY, Danielson. Yeah, and I don't think that it should matter if that was the truth. But gosh, everything going on lately. I know Obama did a lot of stuff. I found my pins. I got a pin when he was president that said stop bombing Syria. Oh, you know what I was thinking about? Bumper stickers. When was the last time you saw bumper stickers on a car? I want to put stickers on my car. And I actually have I have one that's an autism sticker that I'm going to start with. Goldman, I shouldn't be teaching you about politics. I'm pretty sure they're counting on it being stalled till their death, Moonshiner said. Right? Oh, what else did I is that the one comment that I skipped, Gold? Yeah. I just read it. I'm a little slow in the chat sometimes. I'm pretty sure they're counting on seeing I read the same comment twice a lot. Dark magician ask Big Mike, Joshua said. He's not gay, the dark magician said. And I really don't think it should matter. I do think it's super interesting the status we place on being married and how so many people feel like they have to fake that or to be single, like in the entertainment business industry, a lot of people will fake being single when they're really not. Yes, bumper stickers, like stickers on cars. You just don't see them anymore. It's like nobody expresses themselves in that way. And I'm not going to like fill up my car with bumper stickers, but I was just thinking um, yeah, I found that it says different, not less than. I think it says than. It gets me wondering if COVID-19 files were found or leaked, what country could actually protect a defector? I know, Moonshiner. Rob, I wish I could share my experience when I submitted a bumper sticker idea to a company. Why can't you? I want a one-on-one political lesson from you. Oh, Cole. Michael Cox, if you're who you look like in your picture, you look very young, and there's a lot of really good ways to get a basis in learning about that. And it's not from me. I got 20% Cherokee, but I consider myself European. Nope, Native American born here. Michael said, oh, that's cool. 20% is a lot. Not going to happen fast. Did you? Oh, it's never too late to become a Jeep bro. What does that mean? I've never heard that before. Yet no more bumper stickers. I like that bumper sticker. My other car's a piece of shit. Also, oh my gosh, yes. Or the ones that are like, if you're going to ride my ass, why don't you at least pull my hair? Something like that. I know that's kind of raunchy, but it's funny. This is something I bought years ago. Oh, it's backwards. It says some are different, none are less. That's what it says. Um, and it's like clear, so I'm gonna put that like in my back windshield probably. I don't know. I just really like that saying. And yeah, I think a lot of us could learn from autistic people really. And like trust me, I know like it can be very difficult to be the caretaker of a severely autistic person or even a not severely autistic person. So I'm not trying to downplay that at all. Get it. But I've seen some people lately who are neurologically atypical and they just like cut through the bullshit a lot more, you know? They don't put up a front for certain things in certain ways. On the bright side, it would make a really cool movie years from now, The Escape to Atlantis. Moonshine, are you talking about that like in relation to the E Island? That is so funny. He's 20% Jeep Cherokee. Oh, Inky. That is such a silly joke. It's funny. Bumper sticker. Sorry for driving the speed limit. Some of us have warrants. Oh, Daniel, a bro who owns a Jeep Wrangler and puts rubber ducks on the dash. That's cute though. I think that's really cute when I see people doing stuff like that. Oh, bye, Gulf Island. If you're still in here, Danielson, get some docs. Sent some docs. Don't know how much you've seen. I'm so disappointed in Noam Chomsky. Yes, Deepak. Oh my gosh. Yes. I don't know who Steven Pinker is. My grandma, my late grandma, is obsessed with Deepak. She literally went to, this was like 20 years ago. She met him. She went to his retreats. This is a retired school teacher. I don't know how she afforded. She went twice. I remember that. I remember her being like above the moon whenever she like went to the Deepak Chopra retreat. And then like because of him, she like stopped eating meat. And my dad never got over that. He's like, she eats like a bird and it's not right. And like, also, she wasn't cooking us the yummy uh she made all sorts of weird stuff. She was Colombian, so she never made it for me, but apparently she liked to make cow tongue when my dad was younger, and she just like made all sorts of cool stuff. But Danielson, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't say thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just got my first Noam Chomsky book. I just spent money on a book. And I know he's not doing well. I didn't know he had a stroke and he's like not capable of verbalizing now, which is sad. But his wife made a statement that was like, we already regretted this relationship with him. And from what others have said that saw more than I saw, she seemed to really appreciate the lifestyle. Like she loved getting on that jet and stuff. And oh, it just makes me so disgusted. Just the nature of how we, oh my gosh, we look down on people and Yes, there is some truth to, like, some of these women wanted to be there, and they were also an accomplice to helping to make other victims, and, I personally have been in the situation where I put myself there, and then when I got graped, I felt like it was all my fault. I'm sorry, trigger warning. But like a lot of women, most women that that has happened to don't go to the police because you feel so much guilt and you feel like, and especially all of society implicates what were you wearing? What were you doing? And that is how I felt like, well, I didn't have to, that doesn't mean that that should have happened to me and that it wasn't wrong and it wasn't a violation. But like I did make the choice to go be with that person and it turned into that and like even if you like seemingly just because they thought they wanted to be there at the moment they didn't necessarily want what happened that night and oh my gosh apparently too Deepak sounded like an idiot in the emails. I haven't seen that but people were talking about how he was like darn near illiterate and he's talking about girls saying girls stray cats are awesome cats are like women feed them and they never leave. My husband is a really good cook. He's his other character traits have made me love him more than that, but that is a huge bonus. Like if he didn't cook at all, it wouldn't matter to me, but it is very nice to have somebody that like no matter what is thought out in the fridge, they can make something out of dinner with it. Here's a bumper sticker idea. Sorry, I bothered you with my legal speed moonshiner. Oh my gosh. I used to be more like I grew up with a mom that was like kind of like road ragey, and I remember like feeling like going on and being like I'm just like, ranting to my kids or who was ever in the car with me. Hi, oh hi Tian, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. But yeah, one incident, my uncle was in the back seat of my sister's car. He flipped off the car behind us because they were tailgating, and then the person shot and hit and blew out my sister's window, and it like ricocheted off her windshield. It was a BB gun, but still, that could have killed her, regardless of being a BB gun. And this was some hick from the sticks, some good old boy in a pickup truck in 65, not too far from Louisville in Indiana. I'm telling you, the way people talk about Kentuckians, there's good and bad people everywhere, and I've had good and bad experiences every state I lived in. Feral cats are very loyal. Joshua, did you know that we have a cat that we brought in from outside? Our cat token is feral. Oh, I was just cuddling him. We hung out outside today for a little while. Oh, Primo, you're still in here. I'm not sitting in a shed that I live in begging 18 people to help me feed my family. I'm eating a steak and drinking wine that you couldn't even pronounce, and you damn sure couldn't afford it. Now the truth comes out. Now the real character of Primo has really come out. If you're talking about that shed because of the shorts, you went and watched more content on my channel to find out more about me, which good for you. I would do the same if I was interested in somebody. I don't have that shed anymore, Primo. We sold that shed for a profit. We bought 23 acres with cash and we put that shed on the property. My husband did the drywall, my husband did the flooring. And if you didn't notice, it's beautiful, beautiful flooring and drywall work. It wasn't finished. We decided that it wasn't big enough. We ran out of money. We wanted to have the infrastructure that we wanted. And then we sold that place for a profit, but not too much of a profit to have to pay capital gains because it was less than 2 years and it was our primary residence. So we would have had to pay capital gains. If we would have profited like $4,000 more and then pay like 15,000 in capital gains tax. So I'm glad that we didn't profit anymore. And then we moved into here, which is I proudly live in a double wide trailer on a beautiful over an acre of land in a beautiful neighborhood. And I pay less to live here than I would believe. See, now I feel bad saying that because I don't want to make anybody else feel bad. But we pay less to live here. That's what I'm most proud of. Getting closer to being debt free is what I aim for, not to have like the most expensive kind of wine. Um, and even so, not a very critical thinker. I can't see that in those shorts, every single shorts, I said it in the shorts and I also commented in the comment section because a lot of people that went over their heads, but it's like, we don't live there anymore. We don't live there anymore. We don't live there anymore. And even if we did, it was still a beautiful tiny house. Primo is gone eating his steak. Well, thank you, Mr. Carey, because it's like it's once again, it's another example of these people that want to be combatants. Like, they have no substance. They literally the only thing they have to say is like, "I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you." Like they only say shit like that. They don't say anything that's like real, factual. I brought more to the table than him just talking about the e-files in people like that sitting around drinking expensive wine, eating steak, making excuses for pedophiles. That's what's wrong with America and why we're all going down the tubes, you know? But me and people like me will do better than people that are used to expensive wine and steaks because we actually know a thing or two about life and the things that really matter. Primo is bragging about his wealth because he's trying to compensate. Only a person that feels like they have to keep up with the Joneses would make excuses for anybody like that, right? And that's what at the heart of the issue it is, it's classism. Ooh, I love steak too, Bible. I can only get it on sale though. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now I want hot dogs, but I just ate, Moonshiner said. Old saying is home is where your heart is, Michael said. Yeah, and I feel really blessed we got to live in Florida, Kentucky, and Indiana together. And even though I wish we still had the 23 acres, I know that the next big piece of land we get is going to be a better fit, and that's gonna have better neighbors. Um, I live in a nice 2,000 square foot double wide on 13-acre farm with $1 million views, $900 a month. I could rent a one-bedroom kitchenette for that in most areas. That's awesome, Rob. I love hearing that. That's awesome. You have a big one. Ours isn't big. That sounded so good for you. I'm glad. Hi, Fallon. How are you? Walmart has some good clearance steak. They mark it way down, Boston said. Yes. And you go first thing in the morning. That's the trick. Stoned, Papa Smurf, do you know Port St. Lucie, Florida? I know of it, but I never spent much time there, Stoned, but I heard nothing but good things about it. Oh, Bible, thank you. That's so sweet, Bible. Anyone seen the Winter Olympics? Y'all hear about the acid engorging No, Moonshiner, what are you talking about? Rob, you're in Southwest Missouri. I've heard it's beautiful there. No, I don't live in Florida. I used to. I live in Kentucky. My first wife was from Kentucky, Midway, Kentucky. Oh, that's cool, Joshua. It's interesting. It's like the Olympics. I don't usually watch the Olympics. I did when I was younger. What is gymnastics then? Is it in summer or winter Olympics? I believe it's winter, right? I love ice skating and gymnastics. And we would watch like track, field and track and field sometimes as well. I want to live in Florida, Bible said. Well, anything's possible. Just, I don't know what your situation is, but I hope you can make some goals and get down there if that's what you really want. Life's too short. That's one thing, like, I know it's, like, not easy for anybody to do, but that's just, like yeah, I do think we're pretty badass. We're like, how many people sell their house and don't know where they're gonna go? And I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that's stupid," but you know what? I'm glad we did do that, and we've experienced everything we have ever since. It's only that much closer to when we are on, what will be our forever home, and plus, it was, like, contaminated groundwater there. I was so mad. Close to the Ozarks, Rob said. I was gonna ask you if it was in the Ozarks. I swear to goodness. I was like, oh, I don't want to sound stupid because I see now I'm gonna sound stupid. I don't know if all of Missouri is in the Ozarks. I just thought, yeah, the South at least. My friend was born in Port St. Lucie. Said they had Klan marches there. Oh, I didn't know that. That's so sad. The Dark Magician is KFC good in Kentucky. It's no better than anywhere else. The Dark Magician, it's the same. I think that other restaurants have better chicken in my opinion. My friend oh, are there good restaurants near you, Stoned Papa Smurf said. Not really. I mean, there's a few, there's like a Mexican restaurant that's like a small chain. It's in like 2 or 3 locations, and we really like them, but they're kind of far away. It's not like in the town we live in. I don't wanna say there's always good Mexican restaurants no matter where you go in the US. I could imagine every small town has good Mexican restaurants. I hear people in Florida are so much fun, and there is also something interesting going on there. Bible, yeah, there's so many good people in Florida, but there's also a lot of weirdos. Just be careful. I hate to say it, my mom always said the sun attracts the creeps. And like I hated her for it when she first said it, but then as like there is something about it being warm most of the year that is interesting. Joshua, I haven't watched the Olympics since Tara Lipinski was ice skating. Oh my gosh, Joshua. Is that 25 years ago? Joshua is in Florida. Oh, that's cool, Joshua. See, there's good people in Florida. I was a teenager in Miami, and that's probably, well, that's where the worst of the worst happened, including the incident that I talked about for a second earlier. So it's just a lot. The crime rate in Miami. I actually had a friend that was from Ocala. If you don't know where that is, that's way up north. It's like a horse town. It's like it's full of horses, is what I mean, and it's like north central Florida. And and I was just like 13 at this time. I moved down there twice. I know, long story. And she was like, "Please don't go. Me and my mom want to tell you, like, you please don't go. We saw somebody get murdered on the beach when we went to vacation in Miami." And I thought she was making it up because she was one of those people that told tall tales. And I was like, I think she's just saying that. And we stayed friends, and she actually moved back to Florida. But anyways, we had to get out of the towns here, population boom in this area. Oh, Rob, but it sounds like it worked out if you're on 13 acres. Hi, Addie, how are you? I have to plug my phone in. This kind of sucks because I need to get a new charger. My phone charger is finicky, but I should go soon. Remember that movie, Little Nicky? No, Popeye chicken is the shit. I don't know. It's very salty. But one time somebody did say, "Don't get pickles on the spicy chicken sandwich and it won't be too salty," and I'm like, "I need to try that next time." I just barely ever go there. He's right, you were insulting him. Then you kept talking about him after you blocked him because you could hear him defend himself. You do seem pretty poor. Sharon DeLove. I admit all the time, yeah, we are kind of cash poor, aren't most people? We're hardworking, blue collar Americans, and the wages have been so stagnated for 40 years. If we hadn't become homeowners 10 years ago when we did, we couldn't afford a three-bedroom rental. And it's not insulting at all when somebody calls me poor. I talked about him for like less than a minute after I blocked him, just like I'm going to continue to talk about you after I blocked you. Anybody that comes in the chat and all of a sudden wants to make rules like it's their house can suck a big fat dick. That's how I feel about it. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. That's seriously, I am so nice and respectful to people. And I was going back and forth with somebody who's going back and forth with me, who goes to watch other things, which give me views, and then wants to like turn around and say, "You live in a shed while I'm drinking wine and eating steak." And if you're gonna side with that, then side with it. That's fine. I'm like the literal opposite of that. I would never treat somebody differently or call them poor. I live in one of the poorest regions of our country, and I think that is why one of the reasons it's so great. Not that I want people to be impoverished, but when people are used to living without, they're different kinds of people. And they're used to being more resourceful. Hi, Scott. How are you? What are you talking about, Charger? I barely know her. I don't know what you mean. Vienna? I'm sick of living, the real powders said. If you're still in here, I've been there. Just hang in there. You'll be fine. Everybody should do whatever they can. It was Adam Sandler, Joshua said, to I know, like, there's this one person, I would be, "What are your hobbies?" They were talking about being depressed. Anything that makes you happy, you need to do that. Remember, even when you were a little kid, what was the last thing that made you extremely joyous about? 90% of America is one missed paycheck away from bankruptcy. Judge much. Yes, Rob. That's one of the reasons it continues to be the way it is, and the wages are going to be stagnated for another 40 years because there's so many of us like lobsters in a bucket that are just like, just get another job. You can't afford life, get another job. It's like somebody has to do the transportation and the factory and the warehouse work and the restaurant work and the retail. And it's just, I mean, I don't think anybody that makes under like 100,000 makes enough. I think everybody needs to make more. I think nurses, a lot of the times, I know sometimes they make good money, but a lot of times they don't make very good money. And I saw this nurse getting paid like $25 an hour. I was like, what? With how expensive college is, I can barely afford to pay $500 in rent with all the other expenses. Oh, I'm sorry. It is, and then we're all in the same boat where then it's like thing after thing. I had to get new brakes, which like we were fine, but like it put us behind a little bit. And then it is I'd rather be us. I'd sincerely and I hope that everybody else that struggles can reach a point in their life, like the life that you create and you come home to is gonna be worth all the stress. And like they've sucked the ability to do that out of us so much. And especially for young people starting out, I mean, um, nobody can make me feel bad about my life. I was just looking at all the buds on all my fruit trees. Oh my gosh, the apple trees look so good. We didn't get any apples last year, which, the year before they were super tiny. And I'm just like, hopefully this year we get lots of apples. We got lots of pears last year. And the blueberries look okay. I need to do some tending to the blueberries. They like acid in the soil. They like acidic soil, I should say, not acid in the soil. Uh, there is so much that I've gained from being with my husband for 16 years and struggling and buying and selling properties. And, knowledge is something that people can't take away from you. And I only want to get more knowledgeable. I would love to have somebody teach me about the local plants, especially like an herbalist to learn under, but especially about local plants. But from what I've heard, you could spend a lifetime on like one side of a mountain. There's just so much going on. 90 per Bad Bunny was mistaken for Adam Sandler in the stands at some game. Oh my gosh, Boston, that is hilarious. His movie about the remote control. I don't know what you're talking about, Joshua. I loved that, what was the movie where he, like, he became rich? Wasn't that what it was? I mean, a lot of his movies were funny. The Wedding Singer was a good one too. Oh my gosh. I probably watched that movie more than any other Adam Sandler movie, but that is more of like a chick flick, right? What are you oh, Boston. I he is obviously an industry plant and the androgyny is part of the shtick, but I just don't want anybody else to feel bad for being like that because you shouldn't, because men should be able to be feminine if they want to. You know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't matter how much money I make, the best Eva said. Definitely not. Are you looking for true crime documentary? Stone Papa Smurf, I'll take any suggestions from you. If you don't know the struggle, they are blind to real life factors of true importance, Robson. Yeah, and in a way, and I've talked about this, but I've seen a few mental health professional therapists, people who want to be therapists and call themselves life coaches, say like the same sentiment that like the more privileged somebody grows up, the more they struggle with their mental health and their adulthood, more so than you would think, because you just think, well, my struggles would be less if I didn't have to worry about money, if I wasn't worrying about money my whole life, if I didn't have a dad in the house yelling about the thermostat and the hot water and the freaking chips that you ate. Like a lot of us grew up with stuff like that. There's just like a constant financial turmoil and you'd think that you would be a different person, which you probably would be if you didn't have to go through all of that. But there is something to like the character that you make when you go through shit. And it is a blessing to not literally live like an amoeba. That's how I look at ultra wealthy people. I'm talking about like billionaires. Okay. They don't do anything. Like, I think about the Kardashians, they're like literal amoebas that look like women who just float around and everybody does everything for them. They literally do nothing. Like, I couldn't imagine not cleaning my house. I'm too paranoid. I wouldn't, if I had a big, nice, fancy house, I would probably have help like deep cleaning sometimes, but I wouldn't want like a regular staff. Like, that would make me paranoid. Um, I trust my husband, but any woman spent enough time around him, I know she'd be throwing herself at him. But I trust him. But I just could never have somebody do what I think are my responsibilities. You know what I mean? If they don't know the story, when they get fish sandwich at McDonald's, order double fish and double cheese and plenty of tartar sauce. That sounds really gross, Michael. But if you like it, that's cool. I do like fish fillets, but I don't know if I'd want two fillets. Bible, hey, you know what? Oops. I tell people when they call someone poor, I'm low middle class, at least they know how to survive and not need money. Be proud that you made it this far. Yes, Bible. I am proud. Yes. And thank you for saying that. That's how God bless everyone, Bible said. Thank you. That's how I feel. It's like the the people that are going to look down on people, they probably struggle more in a certain way than I do. So I feel like I bring up Siddhartha a lot. I feel like I'm like the prince and the Siddhartha. And like, woke up and saw the reality of people, and like anybody who doesn't see it for what it is and like feel bad for people and have some compassion, um, I know I'm not on the wrong side of history compared to that. The no-no people are the real problem, Josh said. I don't disagree with that. Hello, I support your white people sheet, McHorn said. Well, thank you for that. I am not all white. We have Captain D's where I live, Josh. I like Captain D's every once in a while. I like fried fish. That's one of my guilty pleasures. It's like what, like probably too often, like once every other month, I like to go there. And for a while, oh my gosh, they'll have like little, oh my gosh, no, I won't. They have like lobster bites and stuff. Thank you, DP Fendi. I think you probably need 120K for one person to be able to live somewhat comfortably. In most areas, yes. And that's like the thing about around here. That's what I was saying. I don't want people to be impoverished, but there's like less competition in the air. Like people act different. I do feel like there's more people who are more family oriented, who care more about things that actually matter. And there's very, very nice houses here. There's all sorts of people in all sorts of income brackets, but I'm telling you, even the wealthy people around here are built differently because they'll have their little McMansion right next to like a rundown single wide trailer. There are fancy neighborhoods, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it's very like intermixed and people just don't judge each other completely the same. There's something about people who it also lends to a lot of like I want to say street, not street cred. When you actually know about life and you have more common sense smarts than book smarts. I was raised by a PhD with no common sense and a woman who didn't graduate high school with all the common sense, who knew from a mile away what was about to happen. Look at that person, this is about to happen. The dog that bit my son in the face, my mom was like, that dog's not right. You need to keep him away from your kids. Like a month before he bit him in the face. She just always called out stuff like that. She had a very sharp intuition. Not that kind of as a Papa Smurf. What did Papa Smurf say? I missed it. But yeah, I'm sorry if I offend anybody by telling the trolls to suck one, but like, um, or the no, yeah, yeah, I do consider that a troll. Calling people poor, saying stuff like that, trying to link it to people. And I You ain't no gangsta, Diesel said. I'm afraid for my orchard. We're having 50 to 70-degree temperatures and bow rain. It will trigger a fall spring. And then if we get a frost, there won't be much fruit, if any. Oh, Rob, it happens every year for what, like a good 5 years now? The last frost date comes after. I was just saying this to my son today. I'm like, we're going to have, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like in the 50s and 60s until like the last week of April. Our last frost date is like April 20s, something early 20s. And then we'll have a hard frost because that keeps happening. And I can't help but think it's like on purpose. So don't put your plants out until the last frost, like for real. But I had hostas before the snow. There was hostas. Their shoots were coming up, and I was wondering about that. Of like, what is this going to do to my hosta plant now? You know what I mean? Because it's dead now. I mean, the shoots that were forming are no longer there. Mr. Deeds, Joshua, that's it. I can never remember the name to that movie. I'm always asking whoever. Diesel said something really funny, but I have to block it. That's just so funny because it's so respectfully, I don't like the Kardashians. I don't either, Bible. I know they're just people like everybody, but close the fridge door. Rob said that Robin Williams movie was What Dreams May Come was eerie. Oh, that was a good movie. I remember seeing that movie. Loki, my therapist, is about to have abandonment issues, Brandon said. Why so? Oh, 2 months later. Hey, how are you? How is your Friday? Look up the Hebrew word for proud. Okay. You're gonna leave us all in suspense. Child of perdition, the prideful sinner. Are you talking about me or are you talking about yourself? Have you ever been to Dipping Dots in the mall, Joshua? Like they had 'em at the Louisville Zoo too, places like that. And I liked them. I think they're kind of overpriced whenever we've had it a few times, honey. At least I've had it with the kids probably on field trips when you were working. My wife from Kentucky has introduced me to that ice cream, Joshua said. Oh, did it start around here? McMansion. I'm loving it. It's like the Oh, the Dark Magician. I'm married. Bible, I'm not going to I gotta go. Oh, Bible, if you're still in here, good night. I hope you have a great night. Love you. It was nice talking to you. I got street cred, baby. Roll with me. No. My first wife was from Kentucky. Yeah, you said that. Did you say the name of the town already? Was it Midway or was that somebody else? Clinton, you are cute as hell, but you talk too much. Well, the whole point of a live stream is to talk to people. I'm just a jealous guy, Anthony said. Okay, so now the new troll is calling me a gangster. Do you like the band Nine Inch Nails? Yeah, Stone Papa, I don't listen to them, but I've been around people who listen to them. It's a little heavy for me, but what would that be called? Would that be like alt? It's just a little too much for me. Oh, my old neighborhood is now all drugs and thugs. Never see people outside when I drive by. Sad. Oh, Michael, that's sad. It's like everybody's being distracted with their phones anymore, even children that should be outside playing. Oh, Gaye is the Hebrew word. Mm, um, did you say for pride? Oh, now I have to look in your other. I already. Jeez, Louise. Oh, proud. Okay, I was close. My brain isn't failing me completely. The heat was off. It was 67. Oh, yeah, I turned the heat off because we didn't need it all day. So that's good, right? That is really interesting. I think it'd be classified as industrial rock. Okay, that's probably the perfect classification for that. You probably universal if you ate rocks, you probably had pica. You were seeking some kind of mineral or some kind of vitamin or nutrient that you needed. If you did eat rocks, that's probably why, Mr. Carey. And a lot of kids on the spectrum do that. They'll just like eat anything. Not just like rocks and dirt and stuff, but some people just like prefer the rocks and dirt. Yes, for pride, Joshua said. Thank you. I don't do WhatsApp if you're asking that. We ate Pop Rocks years ago. Oh, I loved Pop Rocks. I love that so much. Um, have you noticed how you are becoming a man magnet? Just wondering. Oh, Michael, not you say the word becoming, like so I'm a high testosterone female. I haven't had my hormones tested in a while because apparently they don't do that anymore. Like I've had people talk me out of like there used to be this blood panel because I have PCOS, and I'd be like, want the PCOS blood panel. And that's what I did several times throughout my life. And now when I ask for that, they tell me we don't test hormones really like that because you need to get your blood tested every day of your cycle. So basically for about a month, you would need to like get your blood to really see a good snapshot of your so how are they giving anybody hormone replacement therapy, which I did have once, was literal implants they put inside my thigh like once every 6 weeks or something. Anyways, and they took your blood and dosed you according to that. And then a PCP told me that that man was lying to me. And the man at the hormone replacement center told me my hormones were like a grandma. And then the PCP was like, he's lying. That's not true. So who do you believe? Especially when you have PCOS, you definitely have symptoms of it. And then you start to improve with the hormones, you know? So, like, I don't want to ever be like, I'm just like one of the guys. I'm not like I always have female friends. I always get along with women really well. Um, but yeah, whenever I look at my YouTube stats, it is like 80%. As a child, I ate Pop Rocks, Joshua said. Bro, I used to eat salt straight out of the shaker. Oh, Edge, yeah, you probably definitely. Did you guys know? Um, Uh, well, if you are hungover, it's not being dehydrated as much as it is a displacement of good minerals. So that's one reason you like crave certain foods probably when you're hungover and you're like, why do I want to eat this? Um, it's good to what I do, I like to drink salty lemon juice. And it really seriously does work. And I just like salty lemon juice. You probably don't have to put it in lemon juice, but um Click clacks. I haven't even heard of that, Joshua. You're not that old. Oh, Tim. Please say Henry is awesome. Henry is awesome. I had a dog named Henry, and he was awesome. Man magnet, and they're so desperate they're hitting on a married woman on a live stream like it's a dating app. Can you really consider them a man? Sounds boyish at best. Yeah, Rob. What I took from that was like you have more male viewers, but you're funny. But I think that there's something about people's energy and, Joshua, I always ate sunflower seeds. Oh, that's good. Do you know sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds are the most protein dense things you can grow? Okay. Now I don't know what the protein value of legumes like lentils are, but like there's more protein in sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds or any winter squash than like beans, peas, all these other things we look at as high protein. No doobies. It's doobs. Do. I'll just call you do. I don't listen to doctors in the way that you're saying, I don't think. But when you go to a doctor and you're paying them to have an annual checkup, and then you ask them, and basically I've been told by a few that if you have a regular period as a woman, that's all you need to know about your hormones. They're golden, they're grand. And I was like clockwork before my hysterectomy. So now that I don't have a period, how do I know my hormones are good? And even when my hormones were like clockwork, I was still getting worse and worse facial hair. So, and that's another reason I talk about all these issues is because like I'm not trying to uh, make money simply off my good looks. Roscoe says so 20% women. Hello, ladies. It's all about prune juice. What is Najad? What do you mean? Of course, it's peanuts. Najad said 5 packs of sunflower seeds a day as a child. Oh, the protein. Najad, yeah, okay. Now I have looked it up. You'd be surprised. I'm telling you, the freaking and I have grown one peanut plant that produced one peanut. I'll never forget like when I pulled that out of the ground and it was like literally um you're probably right, Najad, but most people don't grow peanuts in their garden. But it's possible. They come from Georgia and they just like sandy soil. So I just put some sand and did the same thing with white sage. People are like, it's really hard to grow. It's like a desert plant. But I just put sand in where I grew it. YouTube is predominantly male anyway, so that's pretty normal. Oh, thanks for saying that, Roscoe. That is a good point. And I just find myself, I'm often the like 10 or 20% woman of channels that are, like, dedicated to men. I have 3 boys, so I'm like Arthur Quan Lee, he's a smaller YouTuber, I watch every single one of his videos, and I think he could appreciate that a 38-year-old mother and wife watches his content, but I know I'm not, like, who he makes it for, but that guy is, no, I'm not really high, Sprout you are really high T, I'm sorry, I thought you were asking me, like, um I don't know because they won't test my hormones. That's the whole point. I used to be the first time I had okay, we were trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and my dad took me to a gynecologist, an OBGYN at 16 and said, "Something is wrong. Test her for everything," because that's what has most of the time, often. I even took my husband with me to a doctor once to like try to beg for exploratory surgery. That's another, but uh, totally lost my train of thought. Okay, so the first time I got diagnosed with PCOS, it was literally inverted. Like whatever my testosterone was my estrogen. Whatever my estrogen was supposed to be my testosterone. It was like literally inverted. And she's like, "Oh, since you're not like super serious, meaning I wasn't really overweight, I wasn't not having a period, I didn't have really, really, really bad cystic acne, then I'll grow out of it by 18." That's what they tell women because, like, for a long time, PCOS is very common, and, like, so many women go undiagnosed because doctors refuse to believe that a woman who isn't very overweight and, like, very, very hairy, and I am a hairy girl, I am so hairy, but you know what I mean, like, obviously, male pattern hair growth more so than a woman like me. They just completely write you off. Posh Spice from the Spice Girls has PCOS. So skinny, thinner women, and I don't consider myself like skinny anymore, but back then I was. And, yeah, so they won't test it now, and I've told them that. I would say, but, like, if my facial hair is getting worse, isn't that like if you have high testosterone as a woman, it's bad for your heart. It's one reason why men don't live as long as women overall is because the testosterone is really hard on you, and, um yeah. Sprouting is awesome. It's so much easier to digest and you absorb more of what you need from the plants. Yes, Rob, I know. I need to be better about doing that. My grandma that loved Deepak Chopra, she taught me that like 25 years ago. You must not have any bald guys in your family if you're high T and haven't lost any hair yet. That's interesting, Dark Magician. I definitely do. My grandpa, my paternal grandpa, lost most of his hair by his mid-20s. And he was like extremely handsome regardless, but yeah. Oh, peanuts, I was hearing something else. Edge of the South. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh, oh, and I think my grandma on my dad's side of the family, I want to say she would, it wasn't really bad, but she would had very thinning hair too. Oh my gosh, I have so much hair, I would be glad to lose some. I just got here, what's happening? Not much, Nico. Mississippi is wild, Joshua said. I've never been, hold on. St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is in Missouri, right? I like that state, Joshua said. Are you talking about Mississippi? People that like plants seem to be happier. Yes, Gary. Oh my gosh, it is so universal. Plants and food, flowers. Oh my gosh, it really is like I've noticed the same thing. Anybody that's like a legit gardener that shares their life on YouTube, at least, like they always seem pretty happy. I was just thinking of Roots and Refuge. I love that woman. She has such a cute smile and face. Excuse me, and that's women that get to heaven a half hour after. What? What do you mean by that? Because we have longer lives. 12 months with you, Tim. What are you talking about, Tim? Oh, Lone Wolf, thank you. My mom had thick hair, Joshua said. Yeah, every time I get my hair cut, there every single time the hairdresser's like, I didn't realize how much hair you had until I, started like getting into it. One time I had a lady thin my hair, and then it was hands down the best haircut I ever had. It was like I still remember the way people acted. When I went to school the next day, she styled it and like I didn't wash it and I went to school the next day and she was like everybody. I had a one of my teachers tell me I should be a hair model and it looks so good. Anyways, ever since I asked for people to thin my hair, none of them will do it. Most of the time they act like they have no idea what I'm even talking about, that it's like a possibility. It's weird. And, I've seen people use the tool. It's like scissors that have, like, a comb on the teeth that they, like, run down, they go like this, and, like, "Thin your hair?" Thank you, Mr. Carey. That's scripture, and he opened the books, and it was quiet in heaven for a half hour. Women weren't there yet. And I bet it was really boring, and I bet y'all didn't have much to do. That's funny. My hairline receding, I'm only 24, I'm finished. LOL, at least I'm healthy otherwise. Well, Donnie, let me show you my grandpa. It is good to keep in mind that health is the most important thing, and not that you should. I have white hair, if you didn't notice. A lot of people would dye that, but I'm not going to. You don't have to do anything about it, but, um, see pictures. There's stuff that helps with that. Black castor oil is something I have that I'm not using on my hairline, but I want to. I don't know if you can tell, but this is like a thinning spot, which it really doesn't matter. It's just because I'm used to having such thick hair that sometimes I notice it. I feel like I'm not going to be able to find my Handsome. I need to make a post with my other grandparents because I showed my one grandma. Look at my grand. Isn't he so handsome? Okay, I guess he wasn't completely, but he did. This was, I don't know. I want to say he was in his late 20s, early 30s here. Okay, by the time he was my grandpa, he was like bald, bald. But he was like this by the time he was like 25. I know that he talked about it a lot. And I do feel for anybody that has to deal with hair loss just because of the way society is. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Fendi. I like I'm not doing a good enough job, like, expressing it. I've just been, like, kind of not in a good place, but I'm not complaining. Hi, Gina. How are you doing? Thank you, Husa, for saying I have pretty hair. If you cut your hair a lot, it wakes up your follicles. Joshua, so I've heard what helps the most with that is scalp stimulation. Like they have these like scalp massagers, and if you are trying to grow more hair, if you've gone through, us women go through like hormonal changes, I think 4 or 5 times in our life, like regardless if you have babies or not, but in pregnancy can make you lose a lot of hair, and a lot of women when their hair gets thin because of a hormonal change, um, and you just give it time, but, like, you really stimulate, like, really, really rub your scalp, and that's another reason why combing and brushing is good. It's good to get the oils down to the end, but it's good because I really, like, not press hard, but, I make sure I get my scalp when I'm brushing and combing. Brittany Gray, she's a hairdresser on here. I love her. She taught me so much about, like, hair type, um, all sorts of stuff that comes to hair, and it really helps to know if you have long hair, especially. Like, I didn't know about hair types, and, I made fun of for that, like, it's, like, smooth a little now, but you guys have seen my hair, it's, like, kind of coarse in texture, it's mixed textures, really. My hair and nails grow so fast, I hate it, and my wife hates me for it. It might be Cherokee genetic factor. Oh, Rob, yeah, that's interesting because my mom could grow her nails out, and she's only like, I believe she had a great great grandma that was Cherokee. But it was so funny. She had long nails, and the job she had, everybody was like, "Are your nails real?" And like, she'd always get compliments on her nails not being fake. This was back in the day before people had, um, you know, so much. He looks like mid 30s. Yeah, he did look like it. That trip. Maybe he was mid 30s. If it's from the same trip, I think I don't know. Yeah, it's like I've heard it's like an old wives' tale that trimming is what stimulates hair growth. That's not necessarily true. Hi Tim, how are you? Oh, thank you, Mark. Dry brushing, not using a lot of hair care products. Yes, Rob, that is good advice. I I would love to not use Head and Shoulders, but I have to use Head and Shoulders because I get dandruff like super easy. But just getting to the point where you're not washing it. If you wash your hair every day, oh, I'm sorry, that's so bad. But some people need to, right? Like if you work a job where you're sweating and you want to wash your hair every day, I get that. In the summertime, I'll wash my hair a lot more. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's so bad for the oils in your hair. My ex-girlfriend in New York was a hairstylist. She drove me nuts with that shit. Joshua. Was she always like uh evaluating your own hair or what? Thank you, John. I do love my hair. The older I get, it's funny, I'm like, it's funny that like, and I think all hair can be so beautiful. And like, I mean this with all sincerity. Sometimes I see women with super thin, delicate hair, and I know they probably would kill to have thicker hair, but I like, there's something so beautiful about really fine hair. It's like angel hair. Like, there's something so beautiful about every kind of feature, right? And like, that's what's so neat that we're not all the same. But I remember thinking, like, when I was younger, I used to want, like, brown eyes and thinner blonde and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, Gwen Stefani, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. It's probably because of her I wanted brown eyes and blonde hair. The skincare video was real educational, y'all should check it out. Thank you, Moon China. Oh, yeah, and that's the troll person trying to say that I have no substance on my life. This is a Friday night chat. I'm not trying to be very substantive. I think y'all could tell that, but Um, that was so interesting to me that he went and watched shorts and, um, thought we still lived in a shed, which there's nothing wrong with that. I wish we still did live in a shed sometimes. I wanna get another shed and live in it. And then pay literally nothing but, like, I don't know, maybe like 800, $1,000 a year in property taxes, like, literally the only thing to pay to live and maintenance, because with solar and whatever kind of water you have, there's gonna be maintenance involved, right? They were riding that line a bit, Mr. Carey. I still have my hair and I'm 57. Well, good for you, Joshua. I'm not a young boy. I'm 64, Tim said. Cool. Everybody say your names. I mean, listen to me, your ages. Everybody say your names now. Everybody say how old they are. I'm turning 39 next month. She would charge $250 to dye people's hair. Well, that really is like a, she was a professional hair dyer. That is an art. It really is, especially when you're dyeing somebody blonde. For people to make blonde look really, really good most of the time. Not that it can't look good without a professional hair dryer, but you know what I mean. Some of the best, I understand why it costs a lot of money, but I would never want to pay it. I have that original hair thinner comb, has one side shape and blend, then turn it around as trim and thin. Got it in 1975, work great. I still use it, uses razor blade. That's crazy. So you haven't sharpened it. Could you sharpen it with the, see what I'm picturing? I think the razor was in the comb. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was, I guess not. The way that they held it was like they didn't go snip, snip, snip. They went, you know what I mean? But I guess that doesn't mean they weren't just holding the razor against the comb. But that is so funny. I want to see if I can look that up. I heard turtlenecks are good for your vocal cords. No, no loudspeaker. Turtlenecks are one of those things I like on other people, but I don't like on myself. I have sensory issues, and like the older I get, the more I realize how pronounced they are. Not gonna lie, when it comes to looks, I think you won the genetic lottery, lady. Oh, Donnie, that's so nice. Thank you. I hated turtleneck shirts. Yes, Joshua. If I skip a day of washing, my hair can be used to lubricate machines and my head shakes. It creates a snowstorm. Edge of the South. And see, okay, Edge of the South. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but it's because you wash it so much, it's like that. You know what I mean? And I could be wrong. I'm not God, but like if you could get to the point where you don't wash your hair so much, it wouldn't be that bad. And I say from experience. And, but trust me, I get it. Uh, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but that's the whole point. You have, better results the less you strip your hair and wash. Like they say, petroleum-based chapstick is bad for you. It dehydrates your lips. It makes you, like, dependent on it. This chapstick is from sunflower seed oil, beeswax, and I got this is gets cheaper and cheaper. I got 4 of them for $1.50 on sale at our Walmart. I got 2 packs of it. But, I mean, really, I know this costs like a cent to make this tube. I'm just saying for like good chapstick, it was a good deal. And it's not going to make your lips as dependent. And it's I'm not saying that's about shampoo because it's not been what I found to be. My sister got me really nice, like, salon shampoo for Christmas, and I still have to use the Head& and Shoulders most of the time, you know? I wish I could use really nice shampoo and that would just do the trick. But, yeah, it helps, but, like I said, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. The less you mess with it, and my grandma I remember telling my grandma I wash my hair every day as a teenager, and she flipped on me. She seriously, like, got upset. She was like, "I can't believe this." She's like, "No, you should not be doing that. No, that is so bad for your hair. No, no." It was funny. It's like my grandma I get my hair from, you know, so she would know. But anyways, she used to do them highlights for people's hair. She always shaved me. Also, Joshua said, that would be so nice to have somebody, a significant other that did that, right? A comb. It's just a comb, Michael. Joshua, buy that Nexus shampoo. That was her favorite shampoo. Really? I don't think I've ever tried Nexus. So I just got extra strength Head and Shoulders because it was on sale. Hi, Mario. How are you? Is it Mario? Are we all saying it wrong, saying Mario? I think it's Mario, right? You use Suave Blazer. That's cool. I used to love VO5, Fruit Station, VO5, Fruit Station. If they would bring back a Fruit Station, I would get that, or at least just get the conditioner, at least to smell it. I loved that, but so the last I have to tell you guys, I got Head& and Shoulders, like, prescription strength or whatever, like, extra strength on sale. It's usually because Head& and Shoulders is so ridiculous. I would like to find another shampoo. I try to get it when it's on sale, and so I'm skimming through the whole Head& and Shoulder section looking for anything on sale, and the only thing that was on sale was the extra strength marked down from $12 to, like, 650, which is what everything else that size is. That's just normal is like $7 for it's ridiculous. So I would like to find something. I know they have shampoo with the same active ingredient on Amazon. I need to try to find something different. And I don't like the Head& and Shoulders that's, like, the 10 ingredients, it's, like, the cleanest Head& and Shoulders, that doesn't work on my scalp. I buy old-fashioned lye bar soap, I use it to wash my hair also. Oh, Rob, that's cool, I used to get that from the farmer's market, and I miss it. It was so cheap, and, like, 3 ingredients. It was, like, what was it? Olive oil, lye, and lard? I think I had lustrous hair because I drink bullet coffee, butter, coconut oil, hot milk added to instant coffee and honey. That sounds cool, Blazer. I want to start consuming coconut oil. I want to start doing oil pulling. And I always got like, okay, getting in that habit of like putting the oil in your mouth and swishing it around. I saw this lady made like little tablets, like it's like you chew it up and then you swish it. I just know that's going to work better for me than just like putting straight oil in my mouth. You know what I mean? They're like these little coconut things you put in silicone molds with cloves infused in it. And I can't wait to try that. I think I have, tonsil stones sometimes, like, that's all if you don't know what those are, that can make your breath smell really, really bad, and that's not why I think I have them, but I worry that I do have bad breath when one of them comes out. I got way too high, made a lemon meringue pie just now, Stone Papa Smurf. That sounds so cool. That sounds awesome. They still make Ivory soap. Yeah, Joshua. And Dial. I don't have something around my nose. I had to check. Thank you, Nick. That's so nice. Oh, I love you, honey. I hope you sleep good. Aw. Yeah, my husband said thank you for all your support, everybody in the chat. We sleep in separate rooms anyway. That's a key to marriage. Not that like we never sleep in the same bed together, but he snores sometimes, not every night, but it isn't the end of the world. Gloom, how are you, Gloom or Doom? When a couple sleeps in different beds or bedrooms. I actually think it can be what helps in certain situations. I wish we had our own bedrooms. I mean, okay, if I had a bigger house, I would want my own, it would be like a sewing room. It wouldn't be my bedroom, but there would probably be a bed in it. You know what I mean? Joshua said, "Good night, Boston. Coconut oil whitens your teeth." Yes, Blazer. Um, my ex used to brush her teeth with baking soda and toothpaste. I like Bio Repair, Joshua. Caress bar soap. Oh, Caress. Coconut oil. I already read your other comment. I love the smell of Caress. I use Bath and Body Wash. Oh, Joshua. I use that when somebody gifts it to me. My sister gives good Bath and Body Works lotion and stuff. She gives stuff to me all year round. I still get my hand-me-downs, my sister's hand-me-downs. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, I guess. So, Gloom, how are you? I have been on here a while. I don't have release e-files. Adrian said, yes, they need to release all of them. But like Pam Bondi said, and Fendi said this in the chat, but he's right. I did see it for myself. If everything was released, so much would just topple down because it implicates so many people. Peppermint candies get rid of bad breath, good for coughs. Oh, Michael, yeah, peppermint is awesome. I really like Altoids, the kind in the red tin. There's some kind of food dye or something in like the spearmint ones. There's something that I don't like in Altoid is something I always have, but once again, I wait to get them on sale, 'cause like everything else, it costs too much. But I like to keep those on hand for, like, upset stomachs too. Um, I worked as a security guard for a cosmetic store for years, Joshua said. Oh, that's cool. Uh, that I don't wanna, like, say, "Oh, that must have been easy," like, you didn't work, but, like, that would probably be, like, a nicer security job, right? Because the people you're catching are, like, mostly, like, shoplifting women. Or maybe that's wrong for me to assume. Do you know who? No. Hi, Aaron. How are you? There wouldn't be any politicians to run this broken place. Sounds like a good start to me, Rob said, right? Turnovers are in the over apple and in the oven, apple and cream cheese. Ooh, that sounds good, Gleamer Doom. I made baked pears last night. And I'm taking a lot of pictures and videos because I do want to make a video soon that's like cooking related. And I forgot to take a picture of it done. You know how that goes? I'm like, took a picture of the process. I got a bag of pears on sale and we waited for them to get ripe. And then my husband, I don't even want to know how much he spent on the vanilla ice cream because we got it at the dollar store, but he brought home some vanilla ice cream and it was so good. Uh, It wasn't it sucked, you couldn't catch anyone, that job was crazy and it sucked. Oh, I'm sorry, Joshua. That sucks. I hate to hear that. I don't know why I automatically thought, "Well, that would probably be a little a cush job." No job, Glamour doom. If you like red velvet cake, look for a recipe with vinegar. It's the number one moist red velvet. Oh, that's interesting. My grandma loved red velvet. I would like to make red velvet without all the food dye. Not that I never eat food dye, I do. Them women and that makeup is crap. Joshua, the last time I went, it was around Christmas time. So I'm like, this is the Christmas present to myself. And it was the month I made the most on YouTube. Not that that matters to anybody, but so far, I got Bare Minerals makeup, which is something I get like once every other year. And I couldn't, oh my gosh, I left with a bag, literally a bag. I'm not kidding. It was like $150 for like 5 things. I was in shock. And like, I just stay away from those stores. I mean, we can't afford that. And then I got a coupon in the mail. I really need setting spray. And I thought I could go in there and get some setting spray and use this coupon. I'm not even letting myself go. Oh, freedom. Adult human females can have babies. That Aussie makeup was good. I don't know what you're talking about, Josh. I don't know what brand is Aussie, but I think that makeup is an art, and I'm not knocking on anybody that like spends a lot of money or time on makeup. I just think that it can be a tad wasteful. Hi, Mohammed. How are you? My sister gave me some eyeshadow palettes that apparently you can just spray alcohol on these things to kill any bad bacteria. I've had these eyeshadow palettes for years and years, and like I'm never gonna actually I use some for my eyeliner tonight. Like I'm never gonna use these things. I just use them. I often wonder if planets have babies. Glimmer Doom, that's a cool thought. Edge of the South. Oh, thank you, Tyler. Mohammed, we're just talking about random things right now. It's not about anything in particular. Glamour Doom, do you know Daria? And did you read the title and recognize my reference to Daria Six Sad World? I forgot it also, but it didn't do any tests on animals. Oh, okay. Are you talking about the brand that was in purple bottles all the time? It was just called Aussie, wasn't it? If we're thinking about the same thing. I've seen my wife wear makeup twice, and we've been together 20 years. One of those days was our wedding. Oh, wow, Rob. She must most women I know that, like, don't wear makeup, they usually it's because they have, like, such beautiful skin. I don't know if it's because of my hormone imbalances, but, like, I've been on camera without makeup before, but I definitely prefer to have makeup on. Greek mythology says so, Gloomer Doom said. Oh, I love Greek mythology, Gloom. What is Daria? Gloomer said. Oh, it's like cartoon from MTV. Gosh, it's like 25, 30 years old now. And it was like what people would call emo, this like chick that was kind of monotonous, that was like, kind of nihilistic. And Six Sad World was a show that they would play on their TV that was always like these crazy headlines. And I was just thinking, do you believe in Space Stone, Papa Smurf? Yes, in my opinion, I think that there is like I do think that there's some stuff going on they've lied to us about certain things, right? Stone Papa Smurf. It's kind of weird to me how you don't see the space debris in certain pictures, but then I've seen pictures where there is a bunch of debris floating around. I don't know. It's just I think this world is uh, I do often think, what if we are in like a reality in the I am blanking. What is the word for the term where you find out you thought something happened and it didn't? It starts with the Mandela effect. I'm sorry. I do think there has to be something to different timelines, different dimensions, possibly, I don't know, it's kind of hard to think about. Oh, Dove, I'm glad you got back. Daria was a cold, hard classic, Donnie. Yes, yes, Gloom. I figured you probably would remember it. What's the difference between an enzyme and a hormone? Oh, Edge of South. Ugh. Don't ask me that. That's a really good question. I would like to know them. I was just talking about vitamin D to my son. Vitamin D, I've seen it called the master hormone because it works in your body in such a way. It's like so important. It's like it more than a vitamin. It's just really interesting. And I like that show, Carmen Sandiego, Joshua said. That was a good one. I don't remember much about the Daria show. I remember the ads. Yes, Gleam Daria was one of my favorite TV themes. You're standing on my neck. Yes. Oh my God. You're funny. Thank you for reminding me that. Yeah, I can hear it in my head now. I grew up watching Beavis and Butthead, probably like too young for it really, but I like every once in a while I like Beavis, it's like uh I like to watch it put it on like once a year. I like that show, Inspector Gadget. Yes, Inspector Gadget. You can't hear an enzyme. You can't hear an enzyme. I, oh my gosh. Okay, now I get it. I was like, why am I not getting it? Hormone. Oh my gosh. You are so funny, Edge of the South. Fraggle Rock, Alf. Is that what it was? Was it Fraggle or am I being stupid? Alf was really good. Ooh, was Alf trying to tell us something about like Sasquatch? Wasn't he like an alien? I was addicted to Beavis and Butthead, Joshua said. I used to do Beavis and Butthead voices for a local radio station, Power 100.7. Oh, that's so funny, Rob. That's cool. I gotta leave to go pick up my son at the high school. They had a field trip today and should be back before 12 a.m. I will come back and get pregnant. Aw, Mr. Carey. Have fun, be safe. I hope your son had fun. That's cool. Gosh. When I was in fifth grade, I would watch WWF, then Howard Stern. You're talking about how I didn't see how, but somebody mentioned Howard Stern being in the files, the E files. And I was like, oh, it's not surprising. Gosh, I cannot remember who it was. There was a woman who took her own life like the day after she was on his show. He was just like berating her. And obviously she had issues. But the way he spoke to women, the way he spoke to barely legal, he was just a sick, he just right in our faces with it. Mm. So we started to talk about like it's a classism issue. That's what's really going on here. And gloom. There was two trolls in the chat earlier. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see how this happened. It's super interesting. We're talking about the e-files. One person kept asking me, "What's the proof? Where's the proof?" And like I didn't say anything to anything I was saying back. And then they left and came back and started talking smack to me. Oh, bearded Viking woodworks. Hello, how are you? And then they called me poor and said I live in a shed, which because obviously they went and watched my old shorts, and I was like, no, I don't live in that shed anymore. And even so what? And like he's like, I'm drinking wine that you could never even pronounce and eating steak. And it's just like, okay. So this is what I'm talking about. It's classist. It's a classism thing. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Remember the Balenciaga stuff that just broke a few months ago? And there's still celebrities that support Balenciaga. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't think Balenciaga should be supported by anybody anymore. Ever since they purposely put a document in one of their pictures, a purse on a table with documents strewn across the table, and one of the documents is the court decision that basically made it like more legal to exchange childhood sexual abuse material, something like that. It was seriously, like, what are the odds that this would be staged like this? That that document would even be in the things that they would use to stage a fashion shoot, a Balenciaga, on top of the kids with the bears that were overtly sexual, the, like, bondage bears, and other things. And it's still being supported. The people are gonna be able they're gonna look past that. That's part of why the system keeps going on, because people are always gonna keep looking past it. And I just wonder how this is going to play out. Are we going to do what we really should do? And when I say this, I mean the working class and us poor people. Once again, the working class. I don't care if you make $100,000. You're who I'm talking about too. Us poor people, you might not be as poor as me, but you are poor in comparison to these people that are running our lives, that have more power than our politicians, that literally buy our politicians' votes with their dollars. Um, this is the next like 10 years. There's more and more people. I know I'm not alone, but like it's refreshing to see people call out billionaires and be like, this is not, oh, my chat got stuck. This is not conducive to a healthy economy. Like these people are literally hoarding wealth and resources from the rest of us. And did you guys see that there was like this march for billionaires in Um, and then gloom or doom, I think the second person, has said it was a woman, but the second person was like, "So why are you talking crap about that person after you blocked them? And you are poor." I was like, um, that's what the real issue is here. And is it gonna lend to possibly more cover-ups? Because those people are gonna look down on the rest of us running around like, "Oh my gosh, this is the reality of the situation. Can you believe these perverts?" And they're gonna be like, in order to quell the cognitive dissonance, they're gonna be like, "They're crazy. This is not real. There is no real proof." And that's why they're doing what they do, because they know there's people like that guy who are just gonna be like, "Unless you can literally show me the exact proof, I'm not gonna believe anything," even though there's corroborating witness statements, there's pictures, there's horrible childhood sexual abuse material that can't be shown because it is child abuse. What is wrong with people? And so it's really interesting how, like, both those people turn it into, well, you're poor. We're talking about human trafficking. What does my monetary wealth have anything to do with it, you know? And then when you are, I was just listening to something about Chester Benningfield, and who was the guy that died the same year that was oh my gosh, you guys know who I'm talking about. There was another musician, and supposedly, it's been a rumor this whole time that they were working, both of them, either together or apart, were working on a human trafficking documentary, but that's never been confirmed. And, so in my opinion, I feel like, yeah, if you do have any status and you talk about these things, they possibly take care of that. Yes, real incel trolls, Gloom said. Yes, I know about that one, Joshua said. Teacher, may I go get drinking water? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm outdated in more ways than one, Rob said. Selma Hayek was involved with Balenciaga. Oh, Joshua, yes. Her husband is sick. Her billionaire husband had a website where they were selling sex dolls and child ones. And these ones that were like customizable, where you could send them a picture of somebody's face and they'd make. Hmm. So if I'm the loser because we are in one of the lowest, I don't know. I don't know. We're in a lower tax bracket. People that are automatically better than me. This is exactly why this shit happens. This is why 1,000 plus people could go to the authorities with the similar stories, and it takes a decade plus for anything to start to happen because of it. Because we automatically look at wealthy people is like it's classism. They get away with literal murder because we think that they have some kind of moral high ground. And if they do something, it must be right. It's really amazing, and that is part of what I hope motivates people to really do what they can to start the parallel societies. Oh my word, the trolls are so much better than you that they watch you, Dove said. Trolls are sad people, right, Dove? Gleam Epstein files have little context. Ian Carroll had a new app just for the files to organize them. However, grain of salt, Ian promotes AI all the time. Right, Gloom. A lot of people I love promote. I haven't watched Ian in a minute. I I don't subscribe to him, I haven't seen him in a minute. Kim Iverson, she it was like, yeah, I'm glad she's getting paid, but she advertised for, like, this web browser that was AI. Joshua, are you talking about, like, Pizzagate? They were involved with Victoria's Secret as well. Yes, it's crazy how did you guys okay, it was Karine Lord, and I can't it was a Norwegian model who's still alive now, thank goodness, but she came out in the '90s and was like, "They're selling us to rich men." And once again, it's like this attitude by half the population, including women, I don't mean just men, like men and women, look down on women so much, because, like, prostitution is wrong. It is wrong on so many levels. It's unhealthy. It's not good for either party involved, right? But we always look at the woman, the one who's most likely selling her body or, gaining financially from the exchange as the one at fault. Even if the person, these power dynamics are so that this man is literally two, three, four, 5 times this young person's age. We'll talk about the frontal lobe not being developed in every other situation, except for when it comes to things like this. And it's like, it's this tricky balance. Like, I don't want to shame anybody that has a past. Like, I think this world is really cruel, and, like, if any woman does any kind of sex work, I think that she is the victim to this world, I do. And it is really sad that it's come to this. I know, I always make the chat, like, accidentally go away. Chris Cornell, yes, Stone Papa Smurf, thank you. Jay Byers, that's so funny. You're like the third person that said that about Alanis Morissette. That's so funny. See, man, why are all these billionaires such huge fans of pizza and grape soda? They must have met up for lunch for grape soda and pizza thousands of times. It's just really weird to eat it that often, right, See, man? I brought up the grape soda too, and people that know a lot about, people that knew about Pizzagate and stuff, they were like, what is grape soda? That's a new one. We know what pizza supposedly means, right? But what is grape soda? And Avicii, yes, Joseph, thank you for bringing up Avicii. Supposedly, Avicii was also, it was the same thing. He was supposedly looking into or getting ready to make a documentary on human trafficking, right? And oh my gosh, it's so sad. I'd rather be poor when it comes to money than poor in character. Very good way to say it, Dev. That's perfectly said. I wish I could have thought about that. Have you looked into that Wayfair one? Joshua Wayfair was selling cabinets with missing children's names on them for 14,000. Yes, Joshua. That's one of those things too, it was so in our faces. I do think if it wasn't that particular thing where it was literal people, it was some kind of money laundering. The reason why the money keeps going to the same people is because the stock market has no caps. Oh my gosh, Glimmer Doom, did you see Bondi? They're like asking her about is she going to apologize to the victims in the room? And she's like, Trump, the Dow is at 50,000. Now, anytime anybody brings up the stock market, I'm going to think of Bondi saying that. Gilbert said, "Thank you." Well, you're welcome, Gilbert. You know about Marina Abramovic? Yes, Joshua. Look into the Wayfair she cabinet says it's fucking horrible. Uh, okay, Marina Abramovich. Somebody had her. She was like a fucking consultant for some kind of like school. Okay, I need to look this up again. Somebody hired her to be some official ambassador of something that was like, oh my fucking God. Why would this woman of all people? And you know what? Somebody made a video about her on YouTube that kind of opened my eyes. It was like it did make me look at her differently. It was more unbiased. She's definitely very edgy, and I do think she's a witch. But it did make me look at her a little bit differently, and definitely wouldn't go near her with a 10-foot pole. Joshua put Pizza Club comment pizza. Yes, and then that whole thing was thrown aside because one crazy person went to one place that didn't have a basement and he thought it had a basement. How logical is this for people? Like that was the mindset with most people I talked to about it that refused to believe in it. They're like, "Well, that guy, it didn't have a basement though." Gleamer Doom said Dow Jones, Joshua Grape Soda, take away the oh my gosh, Joshua, take away the G. I don't want to say it, but what grape soda means is in the first two syllables of grape. See man said right above. Gang. Is that what you mean? Oh my gosh, that's so disturbing. Oh my gosh, that is so disturbing. And you guys know the video where he said, like somebody wrote to him and said that he enjoyed the torture video, and it turned out to be that Sultan guy that was one of the people that. And this is another thing that kind of bothers me, okay? Because like I appreciate Thomas Massey so much, and what was it? Rana Ka? I can never remember that guy's name. You know who I'm talking about. The only two seemingly principled people in our fucking Congress, but like, it's just like why 6 names, though? Why these 6 names? It all seems so contrived. So you're gonna open up the files to people that can go and look at it, but then every person that's like, "Yeah, I looked for a half an hour." I'm like, "How much could you look it for 30 minutes?" One woman said she looked for 2 hours. Big Dog just entered the chat. Red Rum Dog, that's so funny. Red Rum, how are you? She was the ambassador to Ukraine. Joshua, is that for real? Is that what it was under Joe Biden? That why on earth would they make that is crazy. It was no, it really was something like that. That's what I was thinking. Like, Ariana, how are you? I'm Thomas Matthews Long Lawson. And Massey, or are you saying Matthews? Ro Khanna, thank you, Jersey. I always want to say Connor Row or so stupid of me. That's my dyslexic tendencies. Joshua, and look into the John Podesta art. Oh, I already did, Joshua. I mean, that would be enough. So once again, if John Podesta lived in a trailer and it had this weird like bronze sculpture of it. Was it a decapitated person of somebody contorted in a weird way that's known that was like a serial killer did this and has a picture of bodies in the same way. It's so disturbing. And all the art of the kids, like that's enough to make me judge anybody. I don't care what income bracket you are in. And if for some reason being ultra wealthy gives people a pass. And in my opinion, this is the only way I can make sense of it, is because you want to be wealthy yourself so badly. And like we're so obsessed with monetary wealth that like just being in closer proximity to somebody with wealth makes you so happy that you'll like literally get them, let them get away with everything. And it would be the kind of person that's drinking expensive wine, eating steak. I had somebody that I thought like liked me as a person jump down my throat, and it was like a similar situation, okay? Like, basically ended up saying like, "I don't agree with your politics. My parents are really rich, and I hate everything you say." Like, yeah, you won. I'm sorry. Um, I really don't feel like I'm wrong for calling out. There's people that are good people, I'm sure, that are exceptions, but they're the fringe. They're the outliers when they have like lots of money. I'm talking about billions of dollars. I always say, remember that time in history when a billionaire saved the world? Yeah, me either, gloom or doom, right? They tend to be everything ends, right? Like every civilization ends. There's always revolutions, and you guys know we're like due for one. What is it? Every like 150 years. What is that? Yeah, I know somebody's gonna know what I'm talking about. Like we are seriously like due for something like this. Ro Khanna is the brown man you're thinking of. Yes, Jersey, he is brown. There's nothing wrong with that. The world is beautiful. Don't let these evil people win. Oh, I like what you said, evil twin. Try not to. And that's why I really want to make most of my content about gardening because I know there's plenty of people that get into it better than me too. I don't have a computer. I can't research as well. It's because money controls the media and the media controls what people think. Yes, La Fugitiva, how are you? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Hi, Stacy. How are you? I'm drinking sparkling water. Oh, Shane. Ask my husband. I never feared COVID once I turned my TV off. Right, Joshua. I was already injured by an H1N1 FLU shot, and like I saw that coming. First of all, I was like, okay, but they're not gonna do this because they don't make vaccines for cold viruses. There's a they literally it can't be done, and then they're like, "Huh. Hey, Amos, how are you?" The big reset. Yes, Rob. I think you're talking about Civil War II in the States. Justin, it's basically like there's a cycle, and I want to say it's like a worldwide thing when like there's like a period of heavy unrest like every 100 or so years, and like right now is like it's some kind of theory. We are ready for the planet Nibiru again. Yeah, I've seen more and more videos. It's like, did you ever watch a fairy garden, dude? No. Fairy Garden Dude. Planet Nibiru is the 10th planet. It's known as the Destroyer, Joshua said. Okay, I do have to go pee because I'm sorry. I drank coffee like before I got on here and I don't want to go. I don't want to leave you guys yet. So if you could give me 1 minute, I'm going to be right back. Oh my gosh, Gloom, you weren't in here when I told the story that last night I had like a strong feeling to look in the toilet bowl because I was going to pee, and there was a wolf spider in the like inside of the toilet bowl. Ah, the Roman Empire lasted 5,000 years, Seaman said. Oh, really? I didn't know it was quite that long. That's funny. So was that the longest known one? I know I sound really ignorant. How long has um what would be the longest China? The oldest country, the oldest civilization on the planet right now would be China, right? Oh, thanks, Greg. It's just something from our dining room table. Hi, Bryce. How are you? So is Greece older than Rome? Joshua said older, but didn't last longer as a civilization, Seaman said. This fairy dude made some hunting for garden fairy videos, like hunting for Bigfoot. Spoiler, he faked the videos, but it still is interesting. Oh, I see what you mean. That's cool. Isn't that something people have been doing for like 100 years? Fake fairy videos. Did you ever read about the Anunnaki? I've heard of it through YouTube videos. I haven't read any books. Woodward TV, he was somebody that like got me into all that stuff like 8 years ago or so. And Turkey was Asia Minor in the Bible. Oh, really? Oh, that's so cool, Joshua. Okay, see. I thought I would know what are the Armana tablets, Joshua? Josh, Planet X is a huge oval orbit. It keeps our sun centered. Nibiru would be planet 9. Bloom said, Hayden, is this an open discussion? Yes, Hayden. What do you think was going down in the tunnels in New York City? Stone Papa's nerve. Well, what are you talking about? The thing from like what was it like a year or two ago in the no people community? Are you talking about that Stone Papa where they found like mattresses and stuff? Mount Ararat is in Turkey. Joshua said. I think that anything that you think would be done in dark. So like for people, we're all so in survival mode as well as like just good people that don't even process or think of things like this. Think of Indian Empire lasted the longest, but I forgot what it was called, Jay Byers said. Jordan is the oldest relics on Earth. Iskenderun, Alexandretta was the city Jesus was brought to before he was crucified. Oh, that's so cool. Gosh, it's so amazing. Some of the we think something's old if it's like 200 years old here, and then there's countries with like things that are 2000 over 2000 years old. I would say Jordan has the oldest civilization, Seaman says. So thank you for answering. Nothing good happens in any tunnel, Greg said. That's where the Noah's Ark rests at. In Mount Ararat, is that what you're talking about, Joshua? When do you think what do you think happened to Jimmy Hoffa? Oh, I don't know, Hayden. And speaking of planets giving birth to babies when Venus was born, may have been Noah's flood. I don't know, just a thought. Yeah, Gloom of Doom, that's really interesting. Can you fry catfish? I've never fried catfish, Zealous, but I'm sure I could. I can fry anything. Yeah, that is so cool. I love history, but my memory is shit. I probably can't remember. Like, I know we studied Greek and Roman mythology, and I can't remember like any of it, but I have some really good books. I do remember like Athena being born from Zeus's head. Is that right? There's some pretty crazy origin stories. In Nordic mythology, I have this neat like child's book. It is like a cow, a cosmic cow in the sky, and like life came from the milk that came out of that cow's udder. Good evening. What are your thoughts on Cahokia? Oh gosh. Okay, isn't that an ancient Jim? What is Cahokia? Is that some ancient settlement? Can you explain, like, give me a brief summary? I think Egypt is older than Jordan. Oh, Joshua, that sim racing, it's never been proven Noah's Ark was found. There's pretty good proof in that mountainside. I do remember seeing, like, years ago, people would be like, no, there's no proof at all, period. And now, like, I think it's kind of like it depends on who you talk to. Mesopotamia was the longest civilization, Jay Byers. I study the histories because of the Bible, Joshua said. That's cool. Oh, new book, Stone Papa? I don't have any. I still have to read this Robert Johnson book, We, and I want to do it on my channel. I really haven't gotten any since the Noam Chomsky book and that We book. I don't know why I'm looking. I haven't bought any for a few months. Plus, my mom was born in Turkey. Oh, that's so cool, Joshua. Well, from a certain point of view, you could actually argue that some tribes and villages in Peru are the oldest, considering they have never moved from that location and most live in the mountains. See, man, that's so neat. Oh my gosh, mountain people are special, man. Gleam, my stoner thought, however, is in nature, how is life created after you come up with answers and ask yourself how planets are created? Right. Like, I definitely don't think that the Earth was because of a big bang. Like, Mesopotamia, people are saying Mesopotamia, Babylon, and Assyria. Joshua said that. Dove said Mesopotamia. Noam Chomsky is in the files. Yes, Gloom, I know. I know. A lot too, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that he was one of those people that tried to deny it. And that was also part of what was, like I tell my kids so much, like, be honest. Like, it might be harder in short term, but like it's always going to pay off in the long run to just be honest. Even if it's hard to say, if it's something you don't really want to tell, like, be honest. You will never regret it. You just start lying and like, oh, it's so interesting. This other academic, I don't remember his name, Dr. Anna, the psychology lady here on YouTube, she made a video about it and how she has books of his and like he just wrote this like eloquent, great sounding statement. He said everything right, everything that a man should say when caught in a situation like this. He was one of those people, he never went to the island. It turns out I think he went to the island with his children even, and then, like, he went to hang out with Epstein in New York City while his wife and critically ill infant were in the hospital. And, people lined that up with, like, the dates and the emails and stuff, so this person had already, like, denied, 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 and then I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the same job he had before. I don't believe one word he says. If he would've came forth out of nowhere, like, "Hey, I gotta get this off my chest. This happened, we hung out, I really regret this, I don't feel right being in this position any longer." Uh, yeah, then I'd be able to take him seriously, but because of it happening the way that he did, no. What are you saying what to, Rock? Everybody lies. Yeah, I'm talking about like, serious stuff that can bite you in the ass. Everybody tells white lies. Hopefully that's all the lies that they tell. Now Chomsky's in the files. I read that. I drink Wachuma in the mountains of Peru. What's that, Stone Papa Smurf? Is that like what is the thing that people take that's supposed to make you have like a spiritual experience? I know ayahuasca. I'll travel to Mesopotamia in the Bible, Joshua said. Make me a BLT with extra mayo. Oh, I like extra mayo too. Used to hold Gnome way up there. Gloomer Doom. I never read one of his books. That's why I was excited when somebody recommended a book. And I was like, I always liked everything he said that I did read. It's always like little blurbs, I know. But that's why I was like, yeah, I want to read one of this man's books. And it was literally 2 months ago, I think. Aliens equal bacteria, Moonshiner said, then bam planets. I don't know, pure luck, I guess, kind of way. I hate seeing trash all over the place. Moonshiner. Joshua said Stone Smurf, that sounds interesting. Moonshiner, that's so interesting to think about. And just, um, I like scientific, I follow a few people that just like upload like scientific shorts. And there's this one, like Kingdom, this life form scientists can't explain. It's unlike anything else. It was here before trees. It's literally like they can't explain it. They don't know exactly how it functioned and everything. And like when you cut it open, it's like a fungi, but it's not. And it's just really interesting to me how like and I'm not saying this about the creators talking about this at all. They're great and they make it interesting, but how the scientists themselves can be like, we can't figure this out. What could this be? Maybe some things literally aren't for us to figure out. Maybe we literally can't explain what that thing was. It was like the precursor to trees. And there's these like really tall things, had no branches. It was just like a pillar or something. Like I'm sorry, I tell this story a lot too. I'll never forget the horseshoe crab documentary on Netflix. This was over 10 years ago, but I don't know if it's still doing, where they couldn't get horseshoe crabs to mate. And they just had them in a glass tank, literal glass tank and water, nothing else in the glass tank. I'm like, why would you not try to make that more like their natural habitat and put some sand in there? And then in the next segment, they're like, they put some sand in the tank and they got them to mate. But then they stopped after that one time. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, once again, that's what I was saying earlier. My PhD father had less like street sense, common sense than my mom, who got her GED in her 30s, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you know what I'm saying. You'd think like the educated man would know it all. I think I just said a lot about our whole country. Oh, Pyramid. Hey, how are you doing, Pyramid? Thank you for sending the hearts. Control your banking, your entertainment, and media. Call it. Yeah, if only it was so easy as just doing it. And it's kind of hard when you're in a system, but you can control what you can. Let me see. Oh, I might. Cahokia was developed by a sophisticated group of indigenous people known as the Mississippians, a diverse population of skilled farmers, engineers, and traders who created around 1000 CE. Mississippians. Yes. Okay. Thank you for saying all that. I know I've heard about that before. Is that one of those things that they found hieroglyphs of and they're like, oh, we didn't know that people were here then? Maybe not, but I think that there was a lot of knowledge. Just what somebody in here, and I know they were like half trolling. Somebody was trying to be like, they it said white girl magic is their name, which I'm sorry, I can laugh at that. I think it's kind of ridiculous, but it's funny to me. And they were like, what race has the highest IQ? What race has the lowest IQ? And then I asked him, I was like, what race is responsible for the planet dying? What race pollutes the air, water, and sea? But yeah, people that can live off, just imagine like what makes Kentucky so great and also so difficult in a certain way. So it's not all like right, Mr. Carey, the nature, the like how there's so much raw, untouched nature here. It really is like imagine being here before 200, 300 years ago. Oh my gosh, imagine how many more trees and animals and bugs. Like we hardly have any bugs now just from 10 years ago, let alone 100 years ago. There used to be so many birds here that they would black out the sky. I forget what kind of bird, but there was like a particular kind of bird that flew in such big herds and they like eradicated them, and it's just so interesting to think about, like, the planet as we know it is, like, so dead compared to, like, what it used to be. And that's what is so great about being out in nature and where anybody, no matter what, I really do hope they enjoy their wine and their I'm completely fine with a $10, $15 bottle of wine. I'm completely fine with a $8 bottle of wine. I just can't have the absolute, like, cheapest because it's like wine cooler territory, you know what I mean? Okay, no, this is mine. It has to have a cork. I've had good wine that was like a screw off top, but my experience has been if it's cheap with a cork, it's good enough. On the first day, God said, let there be light, yada yada. On the seventh day, God rested. And the eighth day, God's wife asked him what the hell he was doing. Glam said, Mr. Carey's parked and they are 20 minutes out. Oh, Mr. Carey, I'm glad you can come talk to us while you wait. That's crazy how late it is, but I've been there. I picked my kid up at almost midnight from the school. The four controls are medicine, religion, finances, and foods. Joshua, that I kind of want to make that into a video idea because, like I want to talk about more positive things, but I also want to try to take on things. Saying philosophical, I feel kind of dorky. Not because I think it's dorky, because I don't think I'm smart enough, but like, you know what, like some philosophical takes on things. I had many lectures, hours of his content, Glamour James said. Um, I don't know who you're talking about, Glamour Doom. Are you talking about Noam still? Noam Chomsky? They couldn't figure out the platypus for the longest time. They didn't believe it was real, right, Dad? E-files, Linda. What are you talking about, J-fires? I drank ayahuasca and literally thought I was abducted by aliens. Really, Linda? We're talking about all sorts of stuff, Linda. Oh my gosh, Stone Papa. I went the only time I really tripped, I really I don't know if I've ever told you guys a story, but it was really, really good. The bathroom I was in at first had like a one of those wallpaper borders that was ducks. You guys know it, as soon as I said ducks, I know some of you pictured the exact same ducks with a little blue bow tie. You know, I know you know. It was like polka dots, ducks. It's like classic 90s thing. Anyways, the ducks started coming out of the wallpaper and like quacking, and I was sick. That's why I was in the bathroom. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I like these ducks. And then went and laid down in the dark and look, I was with my boyfriend. We weren't gonna do anything. We really weren't. It was just like, I like to turn out the lights when I'm tripping. And I'm like, okay. And then um I don't know if you guys want to hear, but that's when it was turned bad. Stone, does that make you hallucinate? Joshua said. Ayahuasca can, right? Hi, Pyramid. How are you doing? I don't know. What are you saying, Greg? Hypnotized. The aliens built the pyramids, I believe. Joshua, I think that it was okay, so I think they had some kind of technology in this one. guy science channel I really liked explained how you can move things with noise. Now, of course, this would be like crazy to do it with things that weighed what, like 1 to 5 tons or something. But with somebody else's technology, maybe. Everything you just said about your mom and dad just showed me why you are from Kentucky, Christopher said. Well, that's funny, Christopher, because my mom's not from Kentucky, but you can think whatever you want about Kentucky. That's also another reason it's so nice here, because the people, she's the most judgmental people in the chat. This is like the opposite of what most people in Kentucky. Yes, there's judgmental, shitty people here for sure, but I swear there's less per capita. There's more nice people. Just like leaving the house and interacting with society is a more pleasant experience because there's less people like Christopher that just like look down on everybody else. Why? Because we are Kentucky. We are what people look down on. And it's like the world, one of the country's best kept secrets. If you can deal with not having a lot of jobs or opportunity nearby. The Nephilim were all over the planet, Joshua said. And, also, Kentucky was good enough for my Colombian grandma and my Swiss grandpa, who were both awesome people. So nobody can ever like make me feel a certain way about Kentucky because there's so many good people here. If you are going to trip, it's better to travel to ancient sites and trip there. It's said these special spirits don't travel. It's best if you go to them. Stoner philosophy. Gloom or doom, I've never heard that before. Only aliens and elves visit you in your apartment. Oh my gosh, Gloom, that's so funny. That is a really good point. I've also heard you have to be in a good, like, mind space. Like, and, I wasn't in the I was 16 years old. I just, didn't like high school, didn't have a great thing going on at home. One morning, I woke up and my parent had moved out of the house, and I didn't know. I have to laugh at it now, just thinking, like, I would never do that to my child. "Hey, I'm gone, and I have to leave this person who's so bad I can't live with him anymore, but I'm gonna leave you to live with him." Glam, only aliens and elves. I already read that. Passenger pigeons. It might have been zero, the like herds of flocks of birds, not herds. Flocks of birds that blacked out the sky. It might have been passengers pigeons. $60 a bottle are the best value, Stone said. Used to make wine, Linda said. Ooh, Linda, what are you talking about? Wine. Got tripping stories from the 80s? Oh, no, I don't think so, West Virginia. Virginia listen to me, I almost called you Virginia. Linda. It's so funny, Linda, everybody calls me Linda. My name's Lydia. Literally everybody says Linda. Every job I've ever had, every teacher I've ever had, everybody that, like, looks at my name and reads my name, which is, like, school and jobs, every single time called me Linda. Isn't that funny? I just think that's funny. Are you talking about tripping on wine? I do know what you mean, but them little wine coolers come in clutch, and it gives me a headache. I used to think I was allergic to sulfites, but like for a few years, I just couldn't drink without getting an automatic bad headache, and it would like burn going down my throat. And I'm not just saying this, but once I saw Montel Williams, the talk show host, his daughter had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she said her first symptom, what she described exactly what I went through. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm fine because this was like a long time ago. And I always had really high, not really high, I always have high white blood cell counts and other things that are high, but nobody ever seems to care to find out why. When I was younger, we would take acid and go to casino and play poker. You can read people's minds. It's crazy. Stoned. Oh my gosh. I think my nonverbal autistic son can literally read minds. I'm not kidding. And there is some people that talk on here. There's some YouTube videos. People who are nonverbal claim, and some people who are verbal, to have some kind of collective conscious that they meet. It sounds what is the astral projection type thing, where basically there is a hill. All these people talk about meeting people on a hill at night. And I know some of you are gonna think I'm not making this up, I swear on my life. One time, I'll never forget my sister sitting up in bed and saying, "We go to the hill. We go to the top of the hill. We meet there every night," in her sleep. And I was so freaked out. And like, we had twin beds, like opposite sides of the room. And I was like, "What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, what are you talking about?" I've never forgotten that. And she's never been nonverbal, but, I was so excited to tell her, and, like, you know what they say, like, these, like, neurologically atypical people have some kind of collective consciousness that they formed, and it has to do with a hill, and it's like in a dream state or reality. I'm sorry, the chat got stuck again. Thank you so much. I don't have tons of perks, but I'm trying to work more on member videos. Got tripping stories from the 80s. I read Linda's comment saying that. Yes, Nikola Tesla thought that also. Joshua said she didn't have a stroke, Mr. Carey. If somebody brought up my eye. Atlantis. Okay, this is the other thing. Even though I've said it a million times, if somebody says something about my looks, unless it's like literal, it's helpful, you know what I mean? If it's negative, just go ahead and block them. If it's the type of person that would even bring it up, aliens visited, y'all. Manshiner said, I think I was in a different dimension for sure. And I, mm, I don't know if I would say aliens. It just felt like it was a different dimension. Probably use something like Tesla's earthquake machine, Edge said. Giants, Glamour Doom. Yes, some of my favorite people live in Kentucky, Dove said. There are so many good people here. Yes, Gloom, our government, or whatever. We had newspaper stories about giant skeletons found, right? And then the Smithsonian even admitted to like losing giant skeletons. So people that don't think that there were such thing as also, and see, like, shut up because you ain't special. Everybody's special, Bone Red. Not special enough to stay in this chat though. Um, yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Kentucky was good enough for Neil Diamond. If you had to pick one sports team from your life, who is it? Kentucky basketball? Oh, Stone Papa Smurf. I'm really not into sports, but and like I lean towards U of L and not UK, and I know U of L isn't as good in sports as the UK, but I can't say UK because I feel like I'm like, you know, going against my family. I would pick the grapes from my yard to make the wine, Linda. I have a friend that calls me Virginia because that's where I'm from. Oh, that's funny. Best done with a spiritual advisor. Also best to fast and go over a question for 24 hours before the journey. It's easy to get offset. Yes, Gloom, that is really good advice. Wine is better than Ambien, I hear. I like to use wine instead of Ambien. And I have a friend whose name is Lydia. Linda said, Winda. That's cool, Linda. You're pretty cute, Linda, Justin said. Oh, we've got some flirting in the chat. I drink Sambuca and Guinness Stout. Oh, that's funny, Joshua. Do you really put Sambuca in your Guinness? You're joking, right? I don't like I okay, I do like IPAs, Stone Papa Smurf. I just don't drink them that much because I don't have a lot of money. But I remember there was one time it had a skull on it. There was one time I got some on sale. I was like, this is crazy that this is on sale. It must have been about ready to like they must have needed to get rid of the stock, but that was at Kroger's, and it was pretty good. Resonate frequency is no joke. There was an entire bridge that collapsed because when the wind hit it, it acted like a reed and produced a sound that matched its molecular frequency. Wow, Edge of the South. That is crazy. You meant reed like REED, right? That is crazy. Because I used to play the clarinet, and now I'm like, oh my God. Who's a savant? There are nonverbal studies. I don't think the people talking about the hill are savants necessarily. Some of them probably are, but there was like a few different channels. Like this conversation happened. My husband brought my attention to it on one channel. It was somebody who um, became verbal, and then they talked about it. Obviously, if you're nonverbal, you might not talk about it, or if you can communicate some other way. It kind of reminds me of one of the funniest memories I have of my oldest son. One time I asked him, "How did you sleep?" And he said, "On the bed." Because everyone, like, "How'd you sleep? How'd you sleep?" "On the bed." I just thought that was so freaking great. I'm going to jump in chat and say, "Are you skinny? You are actively gaining weight, Mr. Carey." My nonverbal son sees dead people. No joke. He has Downs. Nurse said, "Oh, really, nurse? Oh my gosh. Oh, bless his heart." Oh my gosh. So are you used to it? Like, is it, I don't know how much that would affect somebody. How much does he see people? She said the nonverbal have extra sensory. That does make sense. I mean, it makes sense because you've got extra abilities, usually, not always. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I've heard of that happening when somebody's blind or deaf. They like become extra sensitive in other ways, and it's kinda like, yeah, if you're nonverbal, my son can stare into your literal soul. I was giving them that shred of hope that Bazooka had common sense before I hid him. Mr. Carey said. It will be hard to find again, but I found a woman who leads a study with nonverbal autism and other nonverbal. She had me excited. Oh, really, Glamor Doom? Linda never went to the hill. I don't I don't remember my dreams at all anymore, but I used to dream a lot, and I don't ever remember going to a hill. My nonverbal son sees I already read nurses. Okay. Let's scroll down. Lydia. She said the nonverbal. I read that. Fairy hope springs eternal, LMAO, Deb said. When did the Smithsonian admit to having the skeleton? Because they've always sworn that they don't have it. Everybody believes that they are down in the basement. I'm pretty sure they said they lost. Linda, that's the last thing I heard was they released a statement that was like, we had him, but we lost him. Please, somebody look that up and see if I'm wrong. I think she was on Sean Ryan, maybe. Yes, Gloomer Doom. I think that is the podcast my husband showed me that I'm talking about. I think that was the same thing. I don't know if it's the same thing talking about the hill, but I think it was Sean Ryan. These ghost hunters were asking if their grandpa did this and that, and other hunters were like, they're not all knowing. I'm telling you, I died rolling on the floor. That is really funny, Moonshiner. Like you get a Ouija board and you're like, tell me the winning numbers to the lottery. Marilyn Monroe. I might have done that when I was a kid. I was born in Kentucky, Stone Papa Smurf. My wife's from Kentucky, went to Kentucky University. Oh, Joshua, really? That's cool. Lexington, Kentucky University is a great school. It's just like I had family going to like U of L and IU. But it's funny where I am, I'm way close. Well, no, actually, I'm not way closer. I'm like almost right in between Louisville and Lexington. Smithsonian stole the e-files, Greg said. Hi, Valeria. How are you doing? Valeria. I'm sorry, I totally Valeria. How are you? That's such a pretty name. I mean, why wouldn't they gossip in the afterlife? Oh my gosh, it is funny to think about. Like, that's what I think are certain parts of us are just like stripped. And I would like to think that that would be part of what gets stripped down when your soul is like, I believe in reincarnation or possible reincarnation. Um, Dev, I'm in my vehicle waiting for a bus to arrive. A different kind of roll. Gotcha. I look Australian. That's a first. I've never heard that before. You can't put Sambuca in any beer. It has too much sugar in it. Ugh. Is there more than one Linda in the group, or was he talking to you? Linda said. Oh, I think he's talking to you, Linda, saying you're a cutie. You do look pretty, Linda. These nonverbal are reading their parents' thoughts and visit the parents in dreams. Yes. I swear there's been times where I'm thinking something, I'm not saying it, and it isn't a great thought. And I'm not talking about anything that's like, harmful intentions or anything like that. But I swear there's been times where I'm just like thinking something and he like looks at me and he's like, he's telling me with his eyes, like, I know what you're thinking. But it's a good thing in a way because it makes me a better person. I was talking about hair, but you look cute too. Can't really see your picture that well though. Justin, oh, you were talking about me. Oh, thanks, Justin. I don't know if you like if you click on somebody's page, you can like make their picture a little bigger. My boyfriend says with eyes closed when I say, how do you sleep? That's funny, Dove. Their speech therapy takes a long time, but the child tells the therapist, Gloom said. That is so interesting. I did as a teen, not anymore, Linda said. I've never had Murphy Stout. Is that a beer? Murphy. 26 years this March, Mr. Carey. That's so cool. That's a whole quarter of it. Well, you have been married a quarter of a century. That's crazy. I can dream, interpret, and have advice to dream again. Oh, Yawanda, thank you so much. Yawanda Madison. It's your teacher's birthday, Tawanda. That's cool. Thank you for sending the bronze medal. Happy birthday to your teacher. I'm going to start here in the chat because my shoulders were getting tired. Advice for dreams. When you wake up, have no alarm and do not get up quickly. Do not turn on the light. Stay in bed with eyes closed for 5 minutes. Oh, does that help you retain the memories? TWC. Hey, how are you doing, TWC? It keeps freezing up. Happy Valentine's Day to you, TWC. Oh, that's so nice. It is Valentine's Day, isn't it? We're officially spending a Valentine's Day together. Part of it. Dreams can be triggered if you talk about them before sleep as well. It can boost the conscious to attempt to dream. I can't even. Oh, it's Mrs. Carey's birthday. I'm sorry I missed that. Oh, her birthday is Valentine's Day. Today is now my wife's birthday and Valentine's Day. Okay, I just missed it. Good. Oh, happy birthday. That's so sweet. That's such a neat birthday to have. Oh, thank you, Solid. Dream, I already like, I can take vitamin C because that's supposed to make you dream, and I don't remember my dreams at least. Maybe I do, but this chat moves almost as fast as my brain, Linda said. Oh my gosh, AAA, if you're still on here, Adrian, I'm all over the place, honestly. I'm really all over the place, and I'm trying to make my channel more about sustainable living, homesteading, gardening. TWC said happy birthday to her, happy birthday to her, happy birthday to her, happy birthday to you. Last dream I can remember my backyard was flooded and 10-foot alligators started to jump on the roof. I had to arm up in case they broke through the bedroom window. Oh, edge of the south. That sounds very scary. That's the kind of dream that you would wake up from and like still be scared. Linda said old pic. Don't know how it picked up this pic. My birthday was last month on the 15th. I turned 50, Carrie said. Okay, you guys. I think true story, Lydia. I asked for a vision because I was feeling lost and had a dream that night about a restaurant that I've never been to. Tall windows. I went to a new place and recognized the place. That's so cool, Moonshiner. I have a lot of, I don't know what the term would be for deja vus, like things you've dreamt already. That has happened to me a lot. And I don't remember my dreams as much. And I'm almost glad because honestly, I've had lots of bad dreams where like something bad happens. And then in real life, I'm experiencing the thing that happened before the bad thing. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, no, a tiger isn't going to come in here and eat me and tear me in half. Like, there's no tigers around here. Stuff like that. Like, I'm not getting ready to get on a plane, so I'm not going to crash into. I have dreamt of crashing in a plane so many times, I don't think I could get in a plane anymore, and I know that's stupid, and I know the statistics, but and sure enough, there was some sort of attention-worthy things in that town. I had to file a police report, nothing got solved, but it's maybe what they call a canon event. Oh, moonshiner. Ah, it's almost like be careful what you wish for. I'm craving wine and Thai food. Stone Papa, that does sound good. I dreamed my uncle died and I was in a car with him when his car crashed. Joshua, did he live? I learned how to lucid dream. Took a long time, Linda said. That would be really cool. Problem with remembering dreams is the matrix alarm, light, shower, get ready for work. You trigger your conscious to get ready for the day. Right. I mean, I used to remember them so much more though. I'm not kidding when I say I only remember like 1 to 3 dreams a year now. It's like that. And I used to remember them every day, almost every day. Cheese and fish are brain food and they can increase brain sleep activity. Yes, Linda, there's so much good fat. And your brain is made has some fat in it. And when people talk about like low fat diets, it's scary. They changed the food pyramid. Did you see that? They changed the food pyramid and they made it so like, yeah, people say it's bad because they talk about like fat and the biggest part. It's healthy fats. Like, yes, we do. We need protein and healthy fats way more than grains or most carbs, and I know carbs are found in good things too, but I'm talking about like heavy processed carb, like the stuff they had at the bulk of our food pyramid before, like bread and grains. Or, oh my gosh, and it reminds me of that guy I made videos about years ago who ate raw meat, and he would always say, "Grains are for slaves. They feed grains to slaves to keep them slaves." Oh, Mr. Carey, be safe on the ride home. Love scary dreams. I absolutely hate night terrors and sleep paralysis. Oh yeah. OG said, "What's the great thing about gardening?" If you're asking what the greatest thing is, if I had to pick just one thing, it honestly is. It has made me appreciate every season so much. Like I really look forward to gardening. I'm healthier because I'm outside a lot more, but then I also appreciate winter because it is rest. And I used to have, I don't want to say seasonal depression, but I used to lean more towards getting depressed in the wintertime. And I don't feel like that at all anymore. I could just go on and on. I love growing things that you can't buy in stores too. That has to be like the second best thing. Then I had a dream where I was in a double dream. Oh my gosh, Joshua. Yeshua prayed over my head in one dream. Oh, Joshua, that's cool. Lucid takes a while to achieve. I had to fix all my personal issues in order to have lucid more frequently. In the Bible, a dream is moving forward, a forward warning of a future event if your behavior doesn't change. That's interesting, Gloom. Linda, brain. Moonshiner, tell me about it. We got home safe. I'm just wondering if anything could have been different to solve something. I got some nice work boots there, so it wasn't a pointless trip. Edge, the South Park food pyramid is legit. I didn't see that. I'm guessing it's probably like standard American food stuff, right? I have seasonal depression and I love gardening, connecting with soil. Oh, good, Linda. Do you think that I don't know how long you've been gardening, but I just feel like it's helped me so much with like delayed gratification as well as just like being in the now. That's funny. It's like you're looking forward to, you're going to garden, that's going to come, but at the same time, oh, I just feel like that's how we were meant to live. But I know not everybody wants to or can garden. E files, let's get those rich, powerful, awful men, Mike said. Mike, I don't know why I have a feeling you're being sarcastic saying it like that. I do love cheese. If my wife don't like can't eat cheese, I'll eat hers, man. Shiner said. I used to be, like, avoidant to cheese, but I think it's because I couldn't process it. It made me bloated, but I got over that. OG said it wasn't a serious question. You're absolutely gorgeous at aging well. Oh, thank you, OG. That's nice. I wouldn't eat cheese as a child. I was allergic to cheese. I was gonna say I could talk for an hour about there's the Emily Blunt comments again. I don't get it. The Emily Blunt, Alanis Morissette, like I think these women are pretty, but I don't think I look like them at all. I'm stuck in the desert now, so I just walk around and look at rocks. Oh, Linda. Um, Crime pays, but botany doesn't. For some reason, that just reminded me of him because he's not always in deserts, but he's a botanist and he makes such good content. He cusses though. Aging well, agreed, Purdy. Oh, I'm glad. You ever hear of an Italian person allergic to cheese? No, Joshua. I don't know so many Italians though, to be fair, but I've heard that a lot of people who are intolerant of grains, and gluten in particular, here, they go to Italy, they can eat all the bread, pasta, pizza, they can tolerate their grains. I love gardening. I have at Z36 Roadies, Mike said. I don't know what you're saying, Mike. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Laughter is the best medicine, OG. It really is. Um, Laughter, music. It's comedy, music, beauty, which I guess music could be considered um, art. Comedy and art, basically. That's what we all need. That's universal, right? In every culture, like we all love to have beautiful scenery, beautiful things, and comedy. I'm allergic to hard work, Greg said. That's an insult for an Italian person to be allergic to cheese. Joshua said, why does Snoop Dogg use an umbrella? I don't know, OG. I don't know. Tell me. I want to go back to Virginia or find somewhere with tolerant weather and green, 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 green. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know where you're at now. Hold on. You said I wanna go back to Virginia. I thought you said you're from Virginia. I thought you said you lived there. Nurse Rod's still in here. I remember you. Howdy from Indiana. Weren't you in here already, or was that a different Nurse Rod? I call that blasphemy myself, Joshua said. I wanted to homestead forever, Linda said. Yes, I think that a lot of people are attracted to that because it's like ancestral. Mojave Desert, you're in the desert in Arizona. You're from Virginia. I see. Oh, I don't know how you ended up there, but I hope you get to go back to wherever you want. And I think that the desert can be so beautiful. I've seen people create homesteads, although I know with water shortages, it's not going to be easy, but I've seen people create green homesteads in the deserts. It's amazing. But yeah, I personally prefer mountains. And I know there's mountains over there, but I prefer Appalachia. I recommend the book Maduro and Moto called The Hidden Messages in Water. Oh, that I was talking about. Okay, Gloom. I was talking about that earlier. I couldn't remember. Emoto. I seriously was talking about that earlier in this live. I swear to gosh, where he had people concentrate and like hateful thoughts or really good thoughts in the water. Like the good thoughts looked like beautiful snowflakes, and the hateful thoughts looked like shards of something. Yes, Gloom. That was so funny. We are on the same wavelength. Moved to Arizona when I was 9, moved to Virginia when I was like 22. Oh, Linda, wow. But Florida is worse for the heat, Joshua. The humidity and heat in Kentucky. When you're coastal, the humidity is less worse, but, like, I'd rather be in a almost rather be in a hotter area with less humidity, honestly. It's the humidity that gets me. Linda, I'm in Arizona as well. Deb is in Arizona. What was the channel that Mr. Carey put? I forget the name of it. The ranch. I was learning so much about plants and medicine and weeds that you could eat. Yes, Linda. Masuro Emoto, snowflake guy, Gloom said. I lived in Vegas. Their summers sucked, Joshua said. Yeah, Vegas just doesn't seem like a place. I know some people probably do. It just doesn't seem like a place people like stay. They always move there. Dove Lake Havasu here. Oh, Havasu. Edge of the South. Linda said, I had a dog that accidentally did some gardening. He got a hold of a dried up cucuzza, ran all over the backyard with it, and weeks later, cucuzza took over the entire yard. I don't know what that is, but that sounds awful. Um, oh no, I've seen some crazy shit that people had to deal with to eradicate out in the desert. That is that some kind of like tumbleweed or cactus plant? Vegas is not quite as bad as Havasu. This 120 can just bite. Wow, Fendi. Yeah, it's hot as hell here in the summer, and it's already warming up. Yeah, I I don't know if I could deal with 120, but I'm telling you, like it's so humid here when it's like in the 90s. It's seriously like it feels like it's hard to take a deep breath. Did you know that Chuck Norris sang the intro song to Walker the Texas? No, that's not true. Is that true? That sounds like one of those internet rumors. Oh, random rat. Thank you. Yeah, be careful with zucchini. It grows like a weed. Oh, Gloomer Doom. I love zucchini. I grow too much of it every year. I never learned my lesson because really all you need is like one plant for most families, right? But then I got bit by a brown recluse. It fucked me up. Oh, Joshua, that's awful. What do you call a dinosaur with extensive vocabulary? I don't know. What? It's like a cucumber type of gourd. Oh, Edge of South. Okay. That's funny. That's not, yeah, it wouldn't be loofah gourd. That doesn't make sense. TKI Ranch 1 is the ranch channel. Dove has a channel. Don't ask me for gardening advice. I have killed 20 aloe vera plants. Oh, that's so funny, Gloom. Well, I can't grow things inside, but isn't it funny? Like I can grow almost anything outside. I can't keep plants alive inside. I like always overwater them, I think. And aloe is one that I've tried to keep alive that I can't. Everyone repent and believe in the gospel. Jesus is the way, said. If only it was that easy. People get killed in Vegas. I seen Casino, Greg said. I like that movie, Talladega Nights. Yeah, that was funny, Joshua. That's a really funny movie, right? Thesaurus. Oh, gee, that's a good one. That's pretty funny. Posh squash, Linda said. No, Unc, I'm in South Central Kentucky. He named his boys Walker and Ranger, Joshua said. Jay Byers, Chuck Norris found out that nothing could kill him, so he checked on nothing and it killed it first. Oh my God. You know, the Chuck Norris jokes are so funny to me because guys were doing that in high school. Like, how long has that been a thing? Has it been a thing since, like, the early 2000s for all of y'all too? I got 2 of my aloe vera plants. Now somebody's gonna say it's, like, always been a thing or something, make a joke. "Pray to baby Jesus," Joshua said. "We didn't have the best luck growing this year. The kangaroo rats had a buffet, though." Oh my gosh, kangaroo rats. Are they called that because they hop like kangaroos? Ah. Oh my gosh, Cartel out here is hunting ice. There's 2 incidents recently. No, Fendi. Are you talking about in Arizona? I was watching this guy expose how there's like a lot of that cartel activity in Kentucky because there's so many properties. I mean, if you guys haven't ever been around mountains, like there's so many dead end roads because basically the main roads go along like the mountain ridges, and then there's roads that go down into the valleys and what people call hollers. And like there's just so many like very secluded roads where like you have no business being, let alone being at the end of this secluded road, unless you live there, you're visiting somebody there, you know? So it just makes sense that there would be um although there I don't know, there's lots of helicopters flying around lately, which is very unusual. I forgot to tell my husband that, like, 2 days in a row, and, we're not super far from a military base, but I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen a helicopter in 3 years here. That's always, like Interesting. I don't want to say concerning. They are like ninja stuff. So the rats, oh, the kangaroo rats. What is the downside to eating a clock? OG's full of puns. What? Or riddles? What is it, OG? I can't think good enough to answer a riddle. We had Border Patrol flying over the other night, Dev said. Oh, gosh. Yeah, they hop. They're about the size of a mouse. They're so cute. They got a little tuft on their tails. Oh, that sounds cute, Linda. Oh, wow. Now I want to see this. I was walking around a couple weeks ago and the kangaroo rats were chasing each other. They ran across my feet. Ah, that's so funny. Um, it once you deal with mice, and like when I see my cat, because we have a cat that's outdoors most of the time, we just watched him through the window hunt a mouse, and we were like, "Yeah, get it!" And like, I know that sounds mean, but you don't want mice in your house or excuse me, chewing up your cars. Like here, there's so many mice. People are like, "Oh yeah, you if you don't have a mouser, you don't put your car in a garage, especially like the mice will be attracted to the heat." And I never do it, but I even have a bottle of peppermint oil and water that I was gonna like spray because as a deterrent when I got home from work, I never did it. But yeah, I have it's time consuming. Oh, gee. Ugh. Those are the kind of riddles where it's like they're good and they're like, why didn't I think of that? But, it's so funny because I remember my stepdad killing mice and, like, crying about it when I was a little girl, and now I see my cat, I'm like, "Oh, yes." I'm like, "Oh, is that a baby? Yeah, you stopped it from ever reproducing." I always feel so horrible, like, I never thought I would but that's part of, like, living on a farm, you know? At the same time, I would never want an animal to be tortured, and sometimes I am like, "Please just take care of it." You're like, "You don't have to play with it so much," you know? Um, he is so we got him one of those feeders that just, like, the food just comes out of it, and yes, I love Jesus, Alec. Chuck Norris once sued NBC's Law& and Order for using his registered trademark for his right and left kick. Are you serious, Glam? The cartels bought farmlands near our military bases, also, Joshua said. Yeah, it would make sense. It's finally gotten warm here in Wisconsin. Oh, that's cool, Jay Byers. It is getting warm here too. But at the same time, I really don't care. It's gonna happen sooner or later. Yeah, Fendi, it's crazy. I had chickens in Virginia, and one day I don't know what was going on, but the cat disturbed a bunny rabbit, and that was a squirrel and rabbit, cat, chicken, squirrel ran across my feet. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Did you get scratched? Me and my paranoid mind, I'm automatically like, did you get scratched? And if you did you know who it was? And were you scared? Get rabies. My brother did time in military prison in Kentucky. That sounds rough, Joshua. I'm allergic to beans. That's cool. Attack animals now, Roadrunner. Oh, have you seen Roadrunners? It's so funny. I saw the funniest freaking shorts, and I know it could have been AI. I really don't think this was AI. It really was a coyote and a Roadrunner in the same. He was chasing the Roadrunner, and it was like, oh man, this is great. Could you imagine being that person taking that video, seeing that coyote chase the Roadrunner? I feel like you've been a part of Wisconsin. No, KM. I don't know what kind of a joke that is, but it's gone over my head. First time mine was chewed was in the garage. Some make and models switch to a vegetable-based oil for wire coating inside a petroleum base that's like crack to mice. Rob, that's good to know. Oh my gosh. And that's funny. You'd think it would be the other way around. You think petroleum wouldn't be as attractive as the vegetable oil, you know? I mean, I'm allergic to beans. Okay, Stana Parson. It was 80 last week, Linda. Turnovers are done. Need to cool first. Oh, well, that sounds so yummy, Glimmer Doom. I wish I could have one. I'm ready for a good night snack. And I know that's not like the healthiest thing to do, but I usually eat something like right before bed. Oh, yeah, I'm the same. I feel so guilty after accidentally stepping on insects and snails at night, especially, yeah. Oh, gee, yeah, I cringe. I don't like killing spiders, unless it's a wolf spider in my toilet. Literally found a wolf spider in my toilet bowl last night, so I just flushed it. I'm like, "I'm sorry. If you don't know wolf spiders, good for you." I've had so many wolf spiders, like, try to show me up, you know? They get all, like, defensive. But they're really cute. I like them. I like when I'm gardening and I find one with an egg sac, it's rolling around. I did not get scratched and I didn't know what happened, but my husband at the time and my next door neighbor saw the whole thing. That's funny, Linda. Thanks for answering that. I own a snowblower and it always blows the snow back in my face. Oh, Jay. That's funny. The only difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea is I've never had a garbanzo bean on my. Okay, Justin, that was pretty funny. Kentucky is home to the Calvary Jeepers. Moochers, roadrunners. I don't know what moochers are. You think it was AI, Joshua? It probably was. Aren't coyotes like nocturnal? Um, I saw a coyote in the middle of the road in Indiana one time. It was out in the country and it was just laying in the road. Isn't that weird? And I was like, what's this trash bag in the road? And then, like, when I came up on it, it like got up and walked off. I was like, that was weird. The video you're talking about at the top, they actually say they used AI. So it's not real, but it's funny. Okay, Linda. Linda, you're better at discerning AI than me. Actually, kind of funny when it first came out. Um, Greg said, "I don't like spiders or snakes," Joshua said. "I didn't like them until I really learned, not saying that you don't know their true purpose, but, like, I used to be freaked out, like, scared, and then when I learned more about them, 'em, I'm like, "Actually, these creatures are really beneficial, and I'm glad they're around." If those little spider those things are mean and they chase you. Yeah, Linda, that's what I'm talking about, and this one wasn't very big. You know, I've seen wolf spiders that were seriously, like, as big as pretty much the palm of my hand, and I've never okay, I've seen one in a house that was seriously usually they don't get in the house and they're that big. We had one on the side of our house for weeks last year that was really big, and I didn't see it for a while before it frosted, and I just assumed it decided to set up shop somewhere else. But anyways, I'll never forget when I was drying my hands on a towel and I screamed bloody murder, and I was a teenager, and my stepdad got mad at me and he came down the stairs like, "What are you screaming?" And I was like, "Oh, look at that spider." And I swear to God, he spent like a half an hour in the bathroom with that. It took him so long to kill this spider. I know he was freaked out by it. We just planted prickly pear cactus. They seem pretty sturdy. Oh, Deb, I saw. Okay, this might have been AI too, but I don't think it was. These ranchers had a torch and they like burned the spines off of the prickly pears and they had cattle. And like as soon as they were done with it, the cattle like they knew that they could go eat it. And supposedly that's just like a great treat for them. I am tired. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I'm sure the wife will want to go, go, go. And oh yeah, I'm gonna go soon too. See, I usually well, we take turns, but this week I've been taking my kid to school, so I usually wake up early, but I don't have to wake up as early tomorrow. So I'm like, but I should go soon. They're the same thing, garbanzo and chickpeas. Linda, he was making a dirty joke. He was talking about like chick peeing on his chest like a golden shower. And I know is no, I'm saying that the roadrunners are mooch. They come for food. Oh, really? They're like seagulls? I didn't know that. Like seagulls can be so annoying. And like when you're near the beach and they're always trying to take your freaking food, you can't even eat outside. And what are the little tiny grayish birds? Coyotes come out in the day sometimes, depending on hunting. Okay, Deb, thank you for answering that. Yeah, I guess I have heard of people getting their little dogs taken away from coyotes in like the daytime. All these videos, there's a place you can click at the top and don't give a description, and a lot of people will say that they're doing that. Thank you for reminding me that, Linda. I do know of what you're talking about. I had a rabid dog once, really, KM. Did you really? That's so sad. Did you guys know that there's never been recorded somebody surviving rabies until like I don't know what year it was, but it was somewhat recently. A young girl, I believe she wasn't 18 yet. She survived it, and like literally nobody ever has. Oh, and I'm sorry, Rob. May your day be bright and your night warm. I didn't read that last sentence. Rob, if you're still on here, thank you for hanging out so long, and I hope you have a great Valentine's Day with your wife. On my way out, share my smoothie recipe: 2 bananas, 2 apples, 2 oranges, ginger, cinnamon, clove, vanilla extract, juice of choice, ice, black seed oil, oil of oregano, black walnut, whole wormwood. That sounds so good. Oh my gosh. I do need to do that. And that's funny. Black seed. I grow Nigella sativa. That is so cool. I want to seriously make that. All I need to get is I mean, we have black walnuts, but I don't think I wanna use the holes that are on our property. This is the best conversation, all the stuff I'm interested in or have been around. Oh, Linda, I love hearing that. Have you ever had a Kentucky Klondike bar? No? Okay, and is that another dirty joke? I don't know what you're talking about, if that is something dirty. I don't know about it. Roadrunners are very curious. I've never heard of this stuff, but that does make sense why they were depicted the way that they were, right? Because he was always like getting into stuff. Yeah, I got coyotes that go through my yard every day, and the one that always wanted to lay under my tree, he had mange. Oh, that's sad. Hi, Juan. How are you, Juan? Deb, good night. I hope you sleep good, Deb. Um, We had tons of deer. Like, if I went outside right now, I would probably find some deer somewhere. And they also, like, you guys probably know this, but they'll be out like early in the morning, sometimes at dusk. Use the extract, 4 drops of each oil per one large blender. Thank you, Rob. That really is amazing. That sounds so good. You're gonna live forever. Roadrunners are super smart. They come in and pick on the glass door if they can't find me. Oh, that's so cute. So I delivered, that's for 2 people, Rob said. Kentucky Tractor Puller, Wolfman sang. I delivered are you no, you're not answering the Klondike. Somebody had a what is the dog that's black with the reddish Doberman? And it was the kind of thing where the ladies, like, set it inside. I was only stepping inside her house a few steps, but yes, I know how I'm not gonna tell an old lady that and I'm not saying old lady in a disparaging way, mind you. I can't wait till I'm an old lady, God willing. I can't tell somebody no if they're like, "Can you please bring this in here?" And I'm gonna put it wherever they want, but I'm always like, "God, if this isn't my day to go, please don't let it be." And like, getting kidnapped by somebody in rural Kentucky doing Instacart. Anyways, the whole point of the story is she had a Doberman. I kept opening the door to put bags of groceries in, and then the door would shut, and then it ends up being the like lady on the other side of the door and me and her dog. And I was like, "Do you want me to open the door to let her in?" And she goes, "No, she can open the doors." I'm like, man, when I told my husband that, it was so funny. He said something, he's like, "We're getting like the wrong breed of dog." I'm like, he was joking about it. We love our dogs, but they're mastiffs and they're so freaking stubborn sometimes. They're not dumb. They're just fucking stubborn as hell. You must be getting exhausted reading out every single comment. You don't have the energy to do that. Save your energy, just relax. But yeah, it's your choice. Just trying to help. Oh, gee. No, this is my only, well, I shouldn't say my only socialization. I love going live, but I do need to go. I have ran out of energy. Check out the Ukrainian soldier with rabies. Very sad he couldn't drink the water. Yeah, Greg, that's part of it. No, boss. I've been married for 16 years. I forget the term, but you're like scared to water. It's so sad. I know I've seen videos of people. And to end it on that note, I know as like negative as that can be, like that's what I try, and I may not work for you, but I do try to remind myself whenever I'm having a bad day or struggling with something, and even like these e-files thing, when you're thinking of like how can we live in a society where this is all in front of our faces and like nothing's being done about it? Uh just think about dying from a horrible disease and how blessed you are to have one day free from a horrible disease. I have some chronic pain conditions. Mr. Carey has chronic pain. To have a day with moderate pain or no pain is like literally being on vacation. So you go through stuff like that. I don't know. It kind of helps you be a little bit more optimistic. Hey, and I said no. My mother's dog left her a massive, and my mom was tiny, like not even a 5 foot now. Oh, I saw a thing where this one girl had actually managed to save her from rabies. So that might be what you were saying earlier, since I used to talk to text, I must have. Yes, Linda, there was one case. I believe she was a teenager, and like she's the only person that we know of that survived it. That's just amazing. If I was on that medical staff, I would have felt like I did something special because I can't help but think like, I'm sure they didn't. Anyways, I don't think it was some novel treatment. It was just like what is it called when they just treat symptoms? I used to say pain was God's way of letting me know I was still alive. One day I woke up and I didn't hurt, and I thought to myself, I must be dead. Oh, and yeah, it's a lot, but would you? And I hate saying this because I know some people think that they sincerely wouldn't. Would you not wanna be here, you know? And if you are at that point where you wouldn't wanna be here, you please talk to somebody. You need to talk about it. You need to tell people how you feel, okay? Like, don't keep that to yourself. But anyways, I love you all, and it really is so much fun hanging out with you. I mean that. Like, I wanna cry thinking about it. I felt alone even though I have my husband and we are in sync. We're on the same page with so much shit. Not that you have to think alike, but it is a blessing to think alike when you're married to somebody. You know, you don't want to have radically different mindsets about things, but it really is like such a blessing to be able to like hang out with other adults that like get it. Funny how tribes in Africa used to have to walk 2 miles for unsafe water, sing and smile all day. And yeah, our insignificant problems seem so crushing. Life is an experience, so we might as well be good. It might as well be a good one. Yes, Rob. I love that. Good night. Have a great day tomorrow. You too, Gloom. You're cute and innocent. Your husband is lucky. Wish you guys the best. Oh, Wolfman. No, I haven't, Cam. I love you all though. Good night, Michael. Good night, Linda. Good night, Rob. Good night, Mr. Carey. Good night, Gloom. Good night, Wolfman. Good night, KM. Greg. OG. Good night, Juan. Good night, Deb already left. Okay. I love you all. I mean it. Good night. Bye. Hold on. I don't know your age, and I ain't trying to suck up to nobody, but you look absolutely beautifully for your age, whatever that may be, and clearly you're very intelligent, respectful, which is a rare thing today. Oh my God, that's so sweet, OG. I'm 38, but I'm turning 39 next month. And I have been through an awful lot with my health, including getting a hysterectomy last year to narrowly avoid getting cervical cancer. So I really do appreciate that, you know, because like I've worked hard to be healthy, and I feel like that's what that is a reflection of. Larry, I'm getting ready to go. I'm sorry I had to read that last comment because I saw it was big, and I'm glad I read it. Good night, guys. I love